A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry of the Circus. For Jerry of the Circus.
Hold it still. Down, please. Hey, how about those lanterns? What's holding them up?
Yeah, here they come now. We'll have a light for you right away.
Down there. Still. Hold it still.
We'll put the lanterns all around the steel.
Right.
Yeah, we'll have those lanterns for you. Never mind, boys. There go the lights on again. The generator's fixed.
Oh, what a break. Now I'll put you through your paces. Nemo, Jimmy, Nicky, up. Back there. Back there, Nicky. Get back. Come on, Dave. Over you go. Up high, Nemo. Nemo. Jimmy, get up. Up high, fella.
Good work, Jason. Oh, thanks. You did okay, boss.
Jason!
How's it, Jerry?
Oh, you were wonderful, Jason.
Oh, Jason, are you hurt? What happened when you were out there in the dark?
Now, Patsy, take it easy. Don't get all excited over nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Goodness, Jason, do you realize the danger you were in?
How did he ever get the cats to behave in the dark?
Now, wait a minute. One question at a time.
Oh, hurry and tell us all about it.
Well, there's nothing to tell. I just tried to keep the cats in one place while I waited for the lights to go on.
They sounded awful mean. I never heard them roar so loud.
Oh, I guess they were scared. Just about as scared as... Well, as scared as you were, Patsy.
Well, now, don't you make fun of me, Jason. You'll have to admit it would have been pretty awful if all those cats decided to leap on you at one time out there in the dark.
Didn't it occur to you that if things got too bad in this deal, I could make for the door and get out?
I never thought of that.
Well, why didn't you do that, Jason?
What? Leave all those animals alone? Panicky in the dark, I should say not. They might have torn each other to bits. You know, there's an old saying around the circus, animal trainers are cheap compared to expensive jungle animals. There's a fortune tied up in my cats.
But your life comes first, doesn't it?
Well, I was taking pretty good care of Jason. Don't worry about that for 1 minute.
Well, I'm surely glad it's all over. I never went through such an exciting few minutes in my whole life.
What's the matter, Rags, huh? Oh, I see. It's a Bendini. Hiya. Here we are.
Oh, Jason, I thought you might be hurt. I am so very happy you were. How you call all in one piece.
I guess I caused quite a little excitement at that.
Quiet, Rags.
How did you ever do it, Jason?
I think it was wonderful the way you handled those lions.
Now, this has gone far enough. If you all keep talking like this, I'll be going to Mr. Randall and asking for a raise in the salary.
I think the audience should have paid more money to get in tonight. I bet they never saw a show so good like that one.
But the lights, they are fixed now. It is too bad they wait so long to get them working.
They have hooked on to the city power lines now. They won't go out again tonight.
Oh, they didn't get the generator fixed.
No, the generator is really broke.
There's Bumps, Rags. Go on. He's calling you. Well, go on. Hurry up.
Look at him go.
Well, If you'll excuse me, I'll have to go and have a little talk with my pets before they go to sleep for the night.
All right, Jason. We'll see you down at the train.
Good night, Jason. I still think it was wonderful the way you handled those animals.
I'll see y'all later.
All right, Jason. Goodbye.
Good night. Well, Sherry, I guess you have a big time in this town, Hansburg, yes?
What do you mean?
My brother, he means a lot has happened here.
Sure. You get arrested by the police and everything.
Oh, that. Yeah, it has been exciting here.
Well, it seems like you've had your share, too, Carmen. I mean, with those notes threatening you.
I like to find who writes those notes to our sister. I like just to get my hands on him.
We get him, and when we do, it will be too bad.
I know this maybe sounds kind of foolish, but don't you have any enemies somebody that might want to hurt Carmen? Isn't there somebody you can think of?
No, Jerry. The Bendinis, I do not think, have one enemy in the world.
Only friends we have got.
I wonder if it could be someone just trying to play a joke.
It is no joke, these notes. I think it means business.
That is poor joke, Patsy. No, we like joke the same like anybody. But it is not joke to tell Carmen to leave the circus, or they will put acid on our wire.
Have you told Mr. Randall about it yet?
No, my brothers think maybe they want to try to find out who it is first by themselves.
You see, Jerry, when you call in the police, sometimes you scare the one away who you are looking for.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
If we do not find who it is that sends these notes, then we will get help.
But the Bendinis will not fail. I will break every bone in his body, whoever is scaring our sister.
Well, maybe it's someone in this town. And after we leave here tonight, you'll hear no more of it.
But I have received the first note in the last town we played.
Then it must be somebody that's traveling along with us. Maybe somebody with the circus is sending those notes.
That is what Alfredo and I think, Jerry.
Say, I'm getting chilly. I think I'd better get over to my wagon and change into some warmer clothes.
You're right. We have talked too much now anyhow. I go with you, Patsy, as far as my dressing room.
You mind if two handsome gentlemen come along with you, lady?
Not at all.
But where are these handsome gentlemen, Carlos?
He means us, of course.
Oh, you are handsome, huh? I think you have not looked in the looking glass for some time.
Oh, Carmen. Come on, boys. Are you coming, Jerry?
Might as well. Bumps will be through soon.
Jerry, you walk with me. I think you are much more handsomer than the Bendini brothers.
Oh, is that so?
That's a good one on you.
Come on, Jerry. We will walk on ahead of them.
Oh, you think we care? We have the beautiful Patsy to walk with.
Boys?
Carlos is right. We are honored to walk with you, Patsy. Let them go on ahead.
Don't get lost back there.
Go on, never mind us. And listen, Jerry, take the lady's arm if you're going to walk with her.
Oh, you don't have to tell Jerry how to be a gentleman.
Isn't that cute? Look at Jerry take Carmen by the arm.
Say, Patsy.
Yes, Alfredo?
We have got surprise.
You have? Well, what is it?
You must not tell Carmen.
Well, I won't, but what is it?
There is an elephant that we worked with in Europe a long time ago. Even so far back that our sister Carmen used to ride on him when she was only 6 years old.
Yes?
Mr. Randall has bought him.
And he will be delivered to the circus tomorrow when we get to the next town we play.
Well, I haven't heard anything of it. That's funny. Jack Hastings hasn't said anything about it.
Jack Hastings? Who is he?
Our publicity man.
Oh, he knows about it. I suppose he writes something to put in the papers when the elephant gets here.
Oh. Well, what's the surprise?
It is a surprise for Carmen. We do not want her to know of it until she sees El Mundo. She will be very happy to see him again.
Especially after all these years.
El Mundo. Is that the elephant's name?
Yes, his name El Mundo, and he is the most wonderful elephant in the whole world. He is an old fellow, too.
Oh, Carmen will be delighted.
Our uncle was his trainer in Europe.
Only a faraway uncle.
You mean a distant uncle?
Yes, a fourth or fifth uncle.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he come with a shipment. I mean, maybe he bring El Mundo here from Europe.
Oh, then you'll get to see him.
I will be glad to see him. Maybe he tells us something of our country. It will be good to hear of old friends.
Are you handsome gentlemen coming?
We are right behind you.
Well, how are you going to surprise Carmen?
We will wait until we are free tomorrow, and then take her into the menagerie tent and take her up in front of El Mundo and see if she knows who it is.
Oh, she's bound to remember him.
I bet you anything El Mundo he will remember Carmen. Maybe he pick her up when he see her.
Oh, I'd love to be there. Can I come with you?
Sure, tomorrow we all go over together.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Now, you don't tell Carmen.
Oh, of course not, Carlos. I wouldn't want to spoil her surprise. But how did you find out about, what's his name?
El Mundo.
Oh, yeah.
That means the world. I guess they call him that because he looks so big like the world.
Oh, I find out from Mr. Randall. He asked me if I know who this elephant is. He thought I know him because he come from the same country we do.
El Mundo was before he worked in a circus with the zoo. And all the children love him. He is so gentle and nice. You will see, Patsy. You will like him, too.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Shh. Now, Carmen is getting close to her wagon. Let's not talk of El Mundo anymore. They might hear us.
Why you walk so fast? Can't you wait for us?
We're not walking fast. You're walking slow.
How would you like to walk with the handsome gentleman, Patsy?
Well, it's quite nice to have one of the Bendini brothers on each arm.
I have promised to Jerry some cookies. I have a big bag full in my wagon. Would you like to have some too, Patsy?
Oh, yes, Carmen, thanks.
Here is my wagon now. I will go get them. You wait here.
All right.
Want me to go with you?
No, Jerry, I get them. I'll be only 1 minute.
Most gentlemen give the ladies something. But tonight, Carmen give Jerry cookies.
That is really different, no?
Hey, what is it, Carmen? Quick, I'll trade.
Come on, Patsy.
Yes.
Oh, look on the door, on the back of the door.
A dagger.
And a note.
See?
Gee whiz, a note pinned to the door with a dagger.
Look.
Well, what does the note say, Carmen?
I do not know. I just see it there.
Here, I read it. This is a final warning. Leave the circus right away. This is your last chance.
Oh,
Look at that dagger, Carlos. It is an old one, with a carved handle.
It is the kind you see in the old country, but not here.
oh, this is bad. I am afraid.
Now, do not be afraid, Carmen. Alfredo and I, we will find out all about this.
No one will lay a hand on you while your brothers are near.
Well, this really does look bad, Carlos.
Hey, wait, Alfredo. Don't take that dagger down with your hands.
Well, how else will I take it down?
I mean, put a handkerchief over it first. There may be fingerprints on it.
Ah, smart boy. You see, in our excitement, we forget all about
Maybe
that.
we should get the police right away.
No, not yet, but don't worry. Please don't worry, Carmen. We will not get out of your sight, so no one will harm.
Well, what are you going to do?
Well, something should be done about this. You can't tell what kind of a person is sending these notes.
Just give me time to think. Alfredo and I will get to the bottom of this if it is the last thing we do.
We will find out who in the circus keeps knives or daggers like this one.
You could get the fingerprints off it, and then maybe the police would take the fingerprints of everybody in the circus. And that way you could find out who it is.
That is right, Jerry. The police could find out who it is.
But how can you tell the police? We are leaving here in a couple of hours. Tomorrow when we get to the next stand, we will find out. Right after breakfast.
Yes, we find out after breakfast tomorrow.
Can I look at that note?
Sure, Jerry. Here.
It's sort of printed, with pencil, too.
Well, maybe you could find out some way who prints like that.
Golly, this is sure funny paper. Well, I don't think I've ever seen paper like this before.
It is. I didn't notice that.
That is a sort of rice paper. I know we have that kind in Europe.
You are right, Carmen. They do not often sell this kind of paper here in this country. I have not seen some like this since we are over here.
Then whoever is sending the notes and writing them on this kind of paper must be from Europe, too.
about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a robbery detail. You get a teletype warning you that 2 hold-up men are heading for your city. You know they're armed and dangerous. Your job? Be ready for them. Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, April 5th. It was raining in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief Detective Veda Brandt. My name's Friday. I was on my way back from R&I, and it was 8:46 a.m. when I got to room 27A. Squad room. Frank?
Yeah, Joe. Back here. How about it? Turn anything?
Yeah, a couple of names. None of them match the descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
When are the mugs supposed to be in?
This afternoon's mail, they said they were sending them there special.
It'll be easier when we know who we're looking for, huh?
Yeah, they will.
Friday, Smith?
Yeah, Skipper.
Got a minute?
You're right there.
Morning.
Yeah.
Close the door, huh?
Sure.
Sit down. Here. Take a look at this.
What is it? It's about the Merton brothers.
Oh.
I just talked to Leopold.
Sheriff from Las Vegas?
That's right. Gave me as much as he could on the Merton.
Well, we checked our records. There's nothing on them here.
Isn't likely. From what Leopold says, they're fresh out from the east.
You name a town?
No, someplace in Georgia. They're trying to run it out.
Mm-hmm. Bolton we got said they pulled a couple of gas station holdups over there. Anything else?
Yeah, at least they think so.
Yeah.
According to their records, the boys got into town a couple of months ago. No visible means, but plenty of money. Hung around the places on the strip, gambled, drank, had themselves quite a time.
Yeah?
The department over there started to wonder where the money was coming from, put a couple of men on them full time.
What'd they find out?
Not much. Merton's played it cozy. They were finally picked up on a drunk charge, mugged and printed. Nothing to hold them on, so they were released.
Yeah.
Next morning, they skipped town, left clean. On the way out, they stopped long enough to kick in a couple of those gas station motels, you know, along the highway.
Yeah.
Scored pretty good.
The victims make the identification right away?
Yeah. As soon as they saw the pictures, sheriff's office notified Baker. Highway patrol there was waiting, but they must have gotten through before the word went out.
Mm-hmm.
We've been able to trace them through Barstow, Victorville, on through Pear Blossom, Little Rock. They worked hard all the way.
What do you mean?
3 service stations, 2 restaurants, 1 motel.
Anything on them here in L.A.?
Not yet. It's a matter of time. We got to get them before then.
Yeah.
All the victims tell the same story. These 2 guys are off their rockers. The way it stacks up, they're well armed. The car they're driving is cold, and they're on the needle.
Heroin?
Well, we got it. Leopold says they kept a couple of dates with known pushers in Vegas. As far as he could tell, there wasn't anything passed. That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah.
That's the story. Get on it.
Okay, Skipper.
I told you before, it's a matter of time till they try to put somebody around here in town.
Yeah.
A couple of crazy gunmen, high on H. Bad combination. Somebody's got to lose.
Well, let's hope it's not us. Ethan Gifford Merton, WMA, 27 years, 5 feet 8 inches, 165 pounds, and his brother, Grady James Merton, 24 years, 5 feet 6, 152 pounds, arrived in Los Angeles on the morning of April 5th. The first word we had of their presence was a hotshot telephone call reporting the robbery of a market on the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard and Monroe Street. The market owners, Mr. and Mrs. Turner Dillon, had both been pistol whipped. Mr. Dillon had been removed to George Street Receiving Hospital for treatment of a skull fracture. The woman had been given emergency treatment on the scene and referred to her own doctor. The description the victims gave us matched the Merton brothers. As soon as the mugshots from Las Vegas arrived, Frank and I drove out to see Mrs. Dillon. We found her in a small apartment above the store.
I just talked to the doctor at the hospital. He said Turner'd be all right.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure a wonder the way they hit him.
Yes, sir.
No reason for it. We'd have given him the money. Turner kept telling him, take the money and leave us alone. Take the money. Didn't make any difference to him. I don't think they even heard us.
We'd like you to look at some pictures, Mrs. Dillon, see if you can point out the men.
Oh, sure. Anything to help you catch him.
Here you are, men.
Think you've got him in here, do you?
I hope so, yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're right.
Ma'am?
Here they are. Same two. Am I going to help you get him?
Yes, ma'am. Did you notice that they drove a car in the building?
I can't tell you for sure. We didn't really see until they were in the store.
I see.
Well, there must be something wrong with men who beat somebody up like that. You know, up here. Can't be a normal person.
What'd they say to you?
Well, told us it was a stick-up. Said to hand over the money. The bigger one, that's him right there. He said for us to hurry up.
I see.
My husband opened the cash register, then I gave him what was there. The big one told him to get to the safe, hand over that money, too.
Yeah.
Pointed the guns at us, kind of pushed us back to the safe. Turner opened it. All the time we did just what they said. We weren't going to cause them any trouble.
Yeah.
Handed them all the money, every dime. Turner kept saying, take the money, but leave us alone. He must have said it 50 times. Before I even knew what was happening, Turner was lying on the floor. He'd been hit. I got mad. I tried to get at the man myself. Didn't make any difference to him. I was a woman. They hit me, too.
With the gun?
Yeah, here. Right on the face. Guess they didn't hit me as hard as they did Turner. Guess they didn't. After that, they left the store.
Did you see him go?
Not too good. To tell you the truth, I was more concerned with taking care of my husband than paying attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of hoodlums. I don't know where men like that come from. Must be something wrong with the way they were brought up.
Yes, miss.
Truth come out, it'll probably be their parents who ought to be in jail, not the boys at all.
Well, you might be right.
Sure, it's not the boys' fault.
Well, we'll settle for him. 4:25 p.m. We received a communique from the FBI telling us that the Merton brothers are wanted by the state of Alabama for escape. A complete record on the two men was also sent. They've been arrested a total of 26 times for everything from petty theft to kidnapping. According to the kickback, they'd escaped from a road gang while serving a sentence for possession of narcotics. We contacted the authorities in Alabama and asked them to forward all available information on the suspects. After talking with Captain Donahoe, Frank and I went over to the First Street Station to see Captain Walters. We asked him to supply a list of places the two brothers might turn for a narcotic contact. He gave us a list of several places in town and the names of men we could talk to. 8:16 p.m. We started to check them out.
Yeah, what'll it be?
You seen Patsy Hayworth around?
Why are you looking for him?
Want to talk to him?
What about?
Well, if we wanted you to know, we'd ask for you, wouldn't we?
You guys cops?
That's right. Now, where's Patsy?
I don't know.
Come on. We got word that he hasn't been more than 3 blocks away from here in the past 4 years. Now, where is he?
I told you, I don't know.
You're not being smart, mister.
Hey, back room.
Is he alone?
Yeah, as far as I know.
What's he doing?
Nothing different. Playing solitaire.
Oh.
Yeah? You want something?
You Patsy Hayworth?
That's right. Sit down. I know you.
I don't think so.
You're in the wrong room.
Police officers, we got some questions for you.
That don't guarantee the answer.
It's a start.
Go.
You heard from the Merton brothers?
Who?
Grady and Ethan Merton.
No name.
You don't know them?
Red Queen and a Black King, and I could turn him over. That's the baby I've been looking for. It's the first time today.
Is that so?
Yeah. First win. Too bad I didn't pay for the deck. I'd have made a killing.
All right, now, come on, Hayworth. What do you know about the Mertons?
I told you nothing. Now, why come to me? A lot of other guys in town?
They're going to need 8. The way we got it, you can steer them to it.
Old friends again.
All right, get your coat.
Why?
Let's take a ride.
For what?
We can't talk here. Let's go downtown.
Well, it's a nice place. There's nothing wrong with right here.
All right, then, what do you know?
What's in it for me?
Why?
Well, information like that ought to be worth something.
You know we can't do anything for you. Come on, let's go.
Well, how long do you figure you're going to be able to hold me?
Long enough.
How do you make that?
Well, I'll tell you. We'll take you downtown, process you, pass the word you copped out. Told us about a half a dozen people in town. Thing like that gets around, you're going to be in trouble. You'll come back with what we want to know.
Well, that's kind of crummy. It almost builds the blackmail.
Now, you called it. We didn't.
You'd really do that?
We would.
All right. You crossed out all the roads. What do you want to know about the Mertons?
You know them.
I met them yet.
Where?
Place down the street.
When?
Last night.
What is it, a bar or hotel?
Hotel.
Are they there now?
No, we just used the room to meet.
You know where they are?
No.
What they want?
You called it, H.
You do them any good?
No, I told you the truth. I'm not pushing anymore.
Why'd they come to you?
Heard I could turn them on.
What'd you tell them?
No, said I couldn't help them. I told him I'd try and line something up. Stall, you know. I don't want any part of that action. Even if I could have a piece of it, the answer would be no.
Why?
Well, these guys are too far out. They must be shooting 7, 8 caps a day. Got to spend most of their time cooking. They're out of their skull, these guys.
Mm-hmm. You got anything that'll help box them in?
I don't know. Hey, maybe the broad.
What do you mean?
Well, they're dragging a broad with them, a big one. Must be 6'2" in her stocking.
You know her?
I've seen her around.
Where?
Used to hustle drinks downtown. Got too rough for some of the managers. They tied the can to her. She's been floating for a couple of months. Ties into some guy who'll pay the bill. As soon as he wisens up, she drops and goes on the prowl.
She got an address?
Oh, I can't name it. Some flea bag on 5th, I think.
She a hide?
I don't know. She might chip you with it. Not steady enough.
Mm-hmm.
But she's smart, you know. How you look, she'd do real good. One of the homeliest women I ever met.
Is that so?
Yeah, looks like she should be wearing a bridle.
Where can we get in touch with her?
Well, it's hard to say since she's running with the Mertens.
Yeah.
You might try the Ten of Hearts.
Where's that?
It's a dive on 6. She used to show for the place. When they kicked her out, she went freelance. She still hangs around, I think.
All right. How'd you leave it with the Mertens?
Huh?
They going to contact you?
I don't know. They might. You want me to call you if they do?
Yeah, we'd appreciate that.
Okay. You got a card?
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll give you a ring.
All right, Hayward. We'll hear from you, right?
Yeah. There you are, you see?
What?
You should have banked the game. I lost.
No, you didn't.
Huh?
You won. We returned to the office and ran the name and description of the woman through the record section. We came up with a package listing arrest for violation of Section 647.5 of the Penal Code and 4220 LAMC, soliciting drinks. She'd served 2 terms in the county jail and at the present time was not on parole. We got her address and drove out to see her. The landlady at the apartment house told us she was out and wasn't expected back at any certain time. Frank and I drove down to the Ten of Hearts. It was a small bar on 6th Street. We found the woman sitting on one of the front stools.
Hi, honey. Like to buy a drink?
Your name Jane Finletter?
Names don't mean anything here. Just friends. That's all it really counts. Friends.
How about it? That's your name?
Who you guys, Pop?
That's right.
What are you asking me for? I ain't done nothing.
We're not rousing you. We want to talk to you.
About what?
Let's get outside. Be easier to talk there.
I got a choice.
Not much.
Okay. Henry?
Yeah, Jane.
Save the stool. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So?
Right out here. We can talk in the car.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Get in.
Okay. What's the beef?
You work here, do you?
You mean this place?
That's right.
Once in a while, I come in, have a couple of drinks. That's it.
Where do you live?
I've been the route cop. You're right out here to pass the time of day. What do you ask
A couple of questions.
Not the power for that.
What do you mean?
You're not uniform. You don't send a suit out to ask about a traffic accident.
What do you do with your time, Jane?
Move around.
Well, lay it out for me. What?
When?
Starts first of the week, huh?
Okay. Slept late Monday. Got up about 1:30. Had a bad night Sunday. Woke up with a real head.
Mm-hmm.
Tagged the bar on the corner. Had a couple of Bloody Marys. Went home. Changed my clothes and met a friend.
You want to give us his name?
Ain't go any farther.
Not from us.
Nick Pfeiffer.
Okay. What happened then?
I was out with him until maybe 2:30.
That's in the morning.
Yeah. Came home, went to bed. Slept until about 11:30 Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Got a call from a couple of friends who just got into town.
Get their names?
Same deal.
Same deal.
A couple of brothers. They met a girlfriend of mine in Las Vegas. She gave them my number.
How about the names?
Ethan and Grady Merton.
Okay.
Met them, had a couple of drinks, and drove out to the beach for lunch. Came back to town, had dinner. Takes us up to last night.
You seen him today?
No. Ethan called me this afternoon.
Yeah.
Said they had some kind of a business deal to take care of this evening. After that, they were going to pick me up.
Where?
Here, in about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
That the reason for the muscle, the Merton brothers?
Might be.
They got a game going. I'm not on their side. I want that clear. They pulled a boo-boo. They did it themselves. No help from me.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, they both got soft spots.
What do you mean?
In their skulls. Soft.
They say what this business was they had to take care of?
No, mentioned something about somebody owing them money, something like that, so they were going to collect.
Didn't say where, though, huh?
Not to me.
Mm-hmm.
The way they were rigged last night, though, doesn't leave a lot of doubt.
Hmm?
All those guns going out to collect.
Yeah.
They weren't going to do it nice.
We called the office and told them what had happened. Another team of men were sent out to help us cover the place. Frank and I took up our positions in the back of the bar, and we waited. 1:15 a.m., 1:30, 1:45.
What do you think, Joe?
I don't know.
Maybe they decided not to show up.
That's possible.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, I got an idea this morning.
Yeah?
While I was shaving.
Mm-hmm.
I always have trouble, try all the things they tell you. Let the lather stay on 2.5 minutes, hot water, all the things you're supposed to do. I've tried them all.
Mm-hmm.
Finally came up with the answer.
You did, huh?
Yep.
Well, what is it this time?
New kind of razor?
New razor.
Yeah. I got thinking about Faye and gave me the idea.
How does that work?
Faye's my wife.
Yeah, I know that. She's shaving now?
Oh, Joe, you don't understand. She's not shaving.
No?
No. See, last night she gave herself one of those home permanents, and I got the idea from that.
For the new razor?
Yeah. They got those permanent things for different kinds of hair, like hair that's hard to curl, medium, easy to curl, easy,
I think I know what's coming here.
Well, if somebody invented a razor for tough beards, medium beards, light beards, he'd do all right.
Mm-hmm. You going to invent it, are you?
Sure, I'm not going to invent it. You know how I am with those things. Just got the idea, though. That's all. I'd sure like to buy one if they had them. Tough beards, find me one right away. Yeah. First day. That'd be the answer.
Well, here comes ours. Looks like Grady Merton just came in, doesn't it?
Yeah. Wonder where his brother is.
Might be outside.
Wait a minute while we move.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking to the thin letter woman.
Yeah. I'm starting to leave. Let's go. We'll take him outside.
Right.
All right, Merton, hold it up.
He's leaving, Joe. All right, come on, calm down. Take it easy.
Leave me alone.
Police officer. Take it easy.
All right, now, come on, Merton. Get up.
Come on,
Get over there by the wall.
Stand still. Here, Joe. Luger. Hurting still.
Yeah.
All right, put your hands down the back.
What are you shoving me around for, cop? You're going to be sorry about...
Where's your brother?
You'll find him.
You got a fat mouth, mister. Now, where is he?
I won't lead you to him.
Got him, huh?
That's right.
You turned him on, didn't you?
You talk to me. Guys like you always causing trouble.
Ah, you cheap bum. I don't know what he's in season. You're sure going to be sorry when he hears about this.
Tell him to stay away, too.
He'll get you. You can't dig far enough to get away. He'll find you and pay you back.
All right, that's enough. Now, let's go.
You tell her. She's going to collect interest on it. She'll be sorry.
Not alone.
Huh?
She'll have company. The other team of men remained at the bar in the event the other suspect returned. We took Grady Merton to the city hall for questioning. Empty your party.
Huh?
Come on, empty them out.
Wallet. Change, keys, handkerchief, penknife. That's it.
Let me see your arms, Merton.
Huh?
Come on, let me see your arms.
What for?
Now, there's two ways to do this. You take your choice.
Okay. All right.
When'd you have your last pop?
You got to prove it.
That won't be hard. All we got to do is drop you in an ISO cell and you'll be screaming for it.
Sure. You get all the money you can on that. I'll book it myself.
Let me see the wallet.
There's nothing wrong with your reach.
This the pink slip on your car?
Yeah.
Bought it in Nevada?
That's what it said.
Yeah. What are those keys for?
Nothing. I just like to carry them.
Stand up.
Now, what happens now? You hit me?
Turn around. Forgot something, didn't you, Merton?
Huh?
Key here. What's it for?
I never saw it before.
Hendricks Arms Hotel. Is that where you've been staying?
I'm not going to say anything more. You want me to talk? It's got to be with a lawyer.
All right.
I know my rights. You can't make me say nothing more.
You don't have to.
Huh?
We got all we need. We had Grady Merton taken to the main jail and held to answer charges of violation of Section 211 PC. 3:26 a.m., Frank and I left the office and drove out to the Hendricks Arms. It was a large private home in the Crenshaw area that had been converted into a hotel. Frank covered the back entrance to the building, and I walked up the steps.
Just a minute. I'm coming. You know, it's 3:30. Hope you've got a good reason coming around here this time of night.
Police officer, can you tell me who's registered in room 5C?
What for?
Police business.
Listen, mister, this is a clean place. There's no trouble. Now, that's the way I run it. That's the way I want it to
Yes,
stay.
sir. Now, who's in room 5C?
A couple of guys.
What are the names?
I don't know. Smith or something. Wife rented the room to him. Only seen him a couple of times.
All right, does one of them look like this picture?
Come in here while I get some light, huh?
All right.
Now then, let's take a look. Oh, this the fellow here?
That's right.
Well, yes. Guess that's one of them. Yeah.
Is he in now?
Well, I wouldn't have any way of knowing that. Tenants come and go as they please. See, long as they don't let the water run, don't have no loud parties, we don't bother.
Where is the room?
There's the third floor rear.
Okay. This hall go to the back door?
Yeah, you got to go through the kitchen. Say, can you tell me what this is all about?
It'd be better if we didn't.
You going to be in shooting?
I don't think so.
Well, if there is, I can give you a hand. I got a 12-gauge in the room. I used to hunt ducks. I can get it if you give me a hand.
No, sir, that won't be necessary. All right, thanks.
Yeah. Is he here?
Don't know yet. Is there any back stairs?
Yes, sir. Right through there. Looks like a closet, but you open another door and you can go on up.
All right, sir. Do you have a key to the room?
Yeah. Here you are. Want me to go with you?
Might be better if you stayed here.
Yeah, well, I'll get my gun and guard the front door. He won't get out. I'll guard it.
This is down this way.
Yeah, easy. No noise.
No. You all set?
Yeah.
It's locked.
Behind you, Joe.
I get the light.
All right, what are you doing? Hi, Jack, what are you guys doing here?
Come on up.
How'd you get to me? How'd you do it?
We did.
I should have killed you. All the time in the world, I didn't do it. I should have killed you.
Yeah, you should have.
Perfect shot, and I couldn't do it. No reason at all. Wouldn't have cost me any more.
That's so?
Yeah, sure. They never executed anybody in this state for killing a cop. Wouldn't have cost me any more.
You got a bigger bill than you can pay now. Come on.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent. On August 18th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Ethan Gifford Merton and Grady James Merton were tried and convicted of robbery in the first degree, 5 counts, and received sentence as prescribed by law. Robbery in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of from 5 years to life. Because of the viciousness of their crimes, their sentences were set to run consecutively. A hold was placed on them by the state of Alabama in the event they are paroled. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Herb Ellis, Virginia Gregg, Vic Rodman, Bert Holland. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Watch an entirely different Dragnet case history each week on your local NBC television station. Please check your newspapers for the day and time. Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
This one's about Pete Kelly. It's about the world he goes around in. It's about the big music, and the big trouble, and the big 20s. So when they ask you, tell them this one's about the blues. Pete Kelly's Blues. Pete Kelly's Blues, starring Jack Webb, with story by Joe Eisner and music by Dick Kessler.
Pete Kelly. I play cornet. You'll find us at 417 Cherry Street, Kansas City. It's a standard speakeasy. Before Prohibition, the building housed a cleaning and dyeing plant. It hasn't changed much. The vats came in handy. It's still tough to get a clear gin, but a lady likes the idea of a drink to match the color of her dress. The lease is owned by George Lupo. He's a fat, friendly little guy who wouldn't harm a fly. There's no money in harming flies. We start every night about 10 and play till the customers get that first frightening look at each other in the early light. Lupo's working on a scheme to push the dawn back for at least one more hour. I don't think he'll make it, but I wouldn't want to risk a buck against him. Well, last night everything was routine until I saw her again. We were just winding up the third set when she came in, flanked with the same deadpan gunsel. She sat alone at the same table, ordered the same drinks, smoked the same Egyptian deities, gave me that same loving look. The gunsel, as usual, nibbled at his drink at the bar, and his eye playing watchdog for the girl. This was the 5th night, 4 nights running, same girl, same gunsel, same routine. Sit for 5 solid hours, drink, smoke, and work me over with her eyes, reach down deep for a sigh, and leave with deadpan right behind her. Well, I didn't like it. I was beginning to taste salt on my tongue. We went into a finish, and the girl looked once at the gunsel, he nodded, left the bar, and started to the stand. All right. Nick, can you push it a little? It helps when we can hear the beat. All right, don't audition for me. Just do it, huh?
Pete.
Yeah, Red.
That babe's here again.
I know. All right, what do we got up next?
Working up a head of steam, Pete.
Well, she's beginning to make me feel like a wayside shrine. You. Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, you got a request? A number you'd like?
No, I got no request, but the lady, she's got a request.
The lady?
What's the matter? You don't see the lady? How come you don't see the lady when she's looking right at you?
Oh, that lady. Yeah, sure, I see the lady.
So why do you make like you don't see the lady when all the time you know the lady's looking right at you?
Look, friend, I'm only a poor underpaid employee in this trap. Now, my contract says I'm to play music to please the patrons. I'd be very happy to do anything the lady likes to please the lady.
So, all right.
So what does she want me to do?
So she wants you to have a drink with her.
Sure, that'd be an honor. But I'm afraid that Mr. Lupo, he's my boss, you know. George Lupo, the proprietor, he doesn't like his employees to mingle.
I will talk to Lupo. He'll like it.
Yeah, you could probably make him love it.
Come on.
I'll be right back, Red. Use some nickels.
Right, Petey. Veda, this is Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly, this is Veda Brandt.
Sit down, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, thanks.
All right now, Veda? You happy?
I'm getting happier by the minute.
Sure, you want me to go back to bar?
Sit here, it's more friendly. Hello, Pete.
Hello, Miss Brandt.
Veda.
Veda?
You like my name?
Sure, it's beautiful.
Veda. I only just got it last week.
It'll take a little time to break it in.
Let me hear you say it.
Veda.
Yeah. I like the way you say it. Like you mean it.
Yeah, I do. I never met anything more in my life.
That's because you're sincere. I knew you were sincere the first time I looked at you. Remember the first night I came in? Back here and looked at you.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty busy up there, you know.
Ain't slipped a wink since that night.
Well, maybe if you go home and put your mind to it, huh?
No use, Pete. I tried. Nothing's any good. Nothing I can do is going to change it.
Change what?
The way I feel.
Sick?
Yeah.
With what?
With love.
Oh, poor Veda. Yeah, well, beautiful girl like you. No trouble finding another man.
I don't want another man.
You don't want another man.
I want you.
That's what Veda wants, you.
I love you, Pete.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's the way it ought to be. Everybody love everybody else. It's a better world. Well, I got a number to do.
And you shut up. The lady is trying to tell you how much she loves you, so pay attention.
Yeah.
First time I saw you, Pete, hit me like a dum-dum bullet.
Well, excuse me. I have to earn a buck.
Frame it. It's the last one you'll have to earn.
All right. Let's do one. What do you got up?
Till we meet again.
All right.
Pete.
Yeah, Red.
That babe, I got the rumble on her from Lupo.
Yeah.
Ever hear of a citizen named Bacalides? The 3 for boy, 3 killings for the price of 2?
All right, Red. Funnel it down, huh?
She belongs to Bacalides' loser, Petey. Loser.
And you told me what? Now tell me how. Well, let's try one. Let's do it when we meet again. All right, we'll make a slow intro out of the last 8. We'll go back to the top. Nick, you take the first 4 going in. Everybody got it?
Guilty.
All right. Let's try it. Come on, let's all play it, huh? All right, once more.
Nervous, Petey?
No, I'm not nervous. Now, come on, everybody, once more. All right. No break.
Pete, Gunsel's heading this way again.
Yeah, I know. What do we got up next?
Blue, sweet little you and his addiction once killed.
All right. Now, look, friend, I got a job to do.
Let's go.
Where?
Now, you listen, Buster. This ain't a lollipop poking you in the gut. I can drop you and be out of here before you hit the floor.
Yeah, let's go. Well, we went outside. The Hispano out in front probably wasn't as long as it looked. We've got fairly short blocks in this part of town. Veda took the wheel. She banked low around the corner, pulled out of a half-Immelman, gained a little altitude, and flew blind for downtown Kansas City. Veda glanced at me from the corners of charged eyes. Itch just glanced at me. I leaned my head back and closed my eyes. The Hispano whipped down Main Street, lost altitude as we gained the deserted financial district, made a perfect no-point landing at the side entrance of the Grundy Bank and Savings. Well, we went into the bank through the family entrance. One light was burning, and it hung low over the biggest dice table I ever saw in any bank. The stick man was busier than a flea on a fat lady. He called the plays and called the points, and not one of the 50 torpedoes glanced at us as we climbed a short flight to an upstairs office. Two men were in the room. One, a shadow dressed in dark clothes, looked through a small window onto the dice game down below. The Tommy gun rested easy across his knees. The other man sat behind a desk no bigger than the loading platform at Union Station. He was counting money. Neat, orderly piles of bills were stacked around him like a well-trimmed hedge. We waited while he finished thumbing a book of 50s. He just held them up to his ear, fanned them once, made a note on a pad by his elbow. Finally, he turned his swivel chair to face us. It was all chin and jaw. He leaned back, made a church steeple with his fingers, drew me a credit manager's smile, and rocked his chair gently to and fro.
Well, come in, Mr. Kelly. Sit down. You're among friends.
Yeah, thanks.
Pete, permit me to introduce you to this here gentleman here who's very fond of you.
Sure, everybody loves me tonight.
Oh, he doesn't love you. Only I love you. He's merely very fond of you.
I am Baccalidis.
Yeah.
He's confused. Ain't he cute? Ain't he cute when he's confused?
What confusion?
How much time do you have?
I'm at your disposal.
Oh, look, it runs something like this, Mr. Baccalidis. I play cornet, see? At 417, I mind my own business. I try not to poke a thumb in anybody's eye. Well, I noticed this young lady here sitting out front, and tonight she asked me to have a drink with her. Well, naturally, I'm flattered.
Yes, I know all this, but what is your confusion?
Well, it seems that this young lady here has some kind of an idea that she sort of likes me and...
Loves you, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, well, loves me, like you say. Well, I don't figure myself for no Rudolph Valentino, so I get an idea that it's a rib, you know, and especially since I know how both of you...
Not both. One. Me, I love Veda very much.
Oh, darling, you're sweet.
Yeah, that's right, for a fact. And when Veda thinks it over, I'm sure
There's nothing more to think over, Mr. Kelly. Veda has stopped loving me, all right, I face it. It makes me very unhappy, but I face it. Now she loves you. She wants you. I know how unhappy this can make her. I do not like for Veda to be unhappy, so Veda and me, we talk it over. We decide you will marry Veda.
Thank you, darling. You're sweet.
There's nothing, Veda. You know how I will do anything to make you happy, anything.
All right, now how about doing something to make me a little happy, huh?
But I give you Veda.
Yeah, well, I pass.
You refuse?
Oh, Pete, you don't mean that.
You have made Veda cry. I do not like to see Veda cry. Tell her you do not mean that.
Goodbye, friend. I got a number to do at 417, and it ain't Here Comes the Bride.
Yeah. Pick him up.
On your feet.
You will ask Veda to be your wife.
What's the next best offer?
Don't hurt him.
I won't.
All right, Itch. I think Mr. Kelly wants to say something.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Huh?
Who am I?
Huh?
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Whiskey. Put him in the chair.
Come on, boy.
Hold his head back. All right, he's fine now.
Yeah. All I need is a few kind words.
I will give them to you. Just repeat after me. Veda, I love you.
Veda, I love you. Veda, I love you.
Oh, Pete.
Will you marry me?
Will you marry me?
Oh, darling, of course I will.
Congratulations. We drink to it. To the happy bride and groom. Long life.
Long life.
Long life.
Yeah.
Now, here's how. Tomorrow afternoon, you and Veda will marry in City Hall. Itch will be best man. Then you go on a nice long honeymoon, drive to Canada in my Hispano, which I give Veda for a wedding present.
Look, I got a job here in town, 417 Cherry.
Go back to that crib. Tell the boss you quit. Tear up your cornet.
I'm loaded, Pete.
Loaded.
All right. Here's a pound of 50s. Tomorrow morning, you buy some clean clothes, top to bottom, inside and out. You will meet Veda at City Hall, 2 o'clock. Here's the key to the Hispano. Take it. Now kiss Veda good night.
Yeah.
Good night, Angel. I'll be the happiest bride in the world.
Sure.
And you'll be the happiest bridegroom.
Yeah, or the saddest stiff. left the office inside the spin of a top. The Hispano stood by the curb, sleek and calm, just like nothing had happened. Nothing at all. Now I pointed for the 12th Street Bridge, made the other side of the river, and set a course down Boulder Road for Fat Annie's place. Oh, I tried to imagine life with Veda Brandt. And then I thought of 6 painless ways of committing suicide. I began to feel better. Fat Annie's place was doing a fair business for the lull hours. Maggie Jackson was standing back by the piano. I groped my way to the bar, ordered a bromo and ammonia, and listened.
All right, for the wealthy gentleman from Detroit. He needs me. All right, Ray.
He needs me. He doesn't know it, but he needs me. And so no matter where he goes, though he doesn't care, he knows I'm there. He needs me. I gotta follow where he leads me, or else he'll never know that I need him. Just as he needs me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulate me, Maggie.
Congratulations. What for?
Let's get back here. I want you to be the first to know. In here.
Pete, who looked you over?
You ever hear of a nail named Veda Brandt?
Veda? Why, she don't weigh hardly enough to beat the wife of an egg.
What do you know about her, Maggie?
Nothing much for sure. Only she's Bacaliti's package, and that makes her a package nobody tampers with. Nobody.
Yeah, nobody but me.
Not if you love life, you don't.
I got her.
Who says?
Bacaliti says.
Petey, you all right?
Till tomorrow at 2 o'clock, yeah.
What's then?
When's the wedding?
Who?
Mine and Veda Brandt.
Petey, you've gone simple for sure. You know what Bacaliti's will do to you?
Look, Maggie, I just left Bacaliti's and Veda.
He keeps you with her?
Look, that way I'm healthy. If he catches me without her, I'm dead in my socks.
Petey, you're taking those risks too fast. Slow it down a little. Bacaliti, he's just crazy about that woman. Remember Albino Artie? He once looked at Veda like Bacaliti didn't buy. That was 6 or 7 weeks ago. You seen Albino Artie for the past 6 or 7 weeks? No, nobody has.
Well, hear this. Bacaliti's orders me to marry Veda at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Now square it for me. Why?
And Veda, what did she say about that?
Only that she loves me.
She tell that to Bacaliti?
Right to his platinum teeth.
I'm getting that feeling, Petey, like my grandmother used to get.
What's it tell you?
That Veda's preparing herself to be a bride and a widow both in the same day.
Yeah. Well, I better move.
You do that, Pete. Fast and far.
So long, Maggie. I will.
And if I were you, I wouldn't stop moving till I heard him speaking foreign languages.
Well, marry Veda and I'm a dead bridegroom. Don't marry Veda, I'm a dead bachelor. Well, I decided to try to be a live fugitive. I raced the Hispano back across the river, pulled up sharp in front of 417 Cherry. The brakes never made a sound. Lupo was pounding the cash register with both fists. He threw the usual glare at me as I pushed through to the bandstand. Hold it down, man. Hold it down. Let's do this one real fine, for me. It's my last time around. Pete? Yeah, Red. You being pushed out? Yeah, it's that or carried out. All right. Let's do Singing the Blues, huh? Everybody ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. not going to be around for a while. A little business I got to take care of. Well, you'll hear from me, so just keep at it right here until... Red? Yeah, Pete? In the alley, huh? Look, Red, I'm in a jam. What can I do to help you? Thanks, but nothing. I got to keep moving. Maybe cool off in a couple of weeks, maybe not. Meantime, try to keep the boys together, huh? Sure. Well. So long, Red. Take care of yourself, huh? Need a couple of bucks, Erskine? Anything? No, I'm fine. I'll see you. Well, it wasn't easy. I was going to miss the boys. I missed Red already. No, it wasn't easy. But there was only one exit. I drove around to the rooming house, raced up the stairs. All I had to take was a clean shirt, my other suit, and my book of arrangements. I'd hightail it east, just keep rolling till I ran out of road. That was the plan, until I got to my room. She was stretched across my bed, and she looked right at me as I came in. And there she was on my bed, looking right at me, but I was all alone. Now Veda would never be anybody's widow. She was too dead to say I do. The stocking from her left leg was where no girl's stocking ought to be, knotted tightly around her throat. Well, I tiptoed back to the door, as though she was a light sleeper. I closed the door very gently behind me, and then I raced down the 3 flights into the street, into the Hispano, and into high speed. There was no lambing out of this one. You just don't hit the road in a car belonging to the stiff you leave behind. For such violations, the law is strict. Also, Bacalides. Well, I pulled up hard in front of Sour Sammy's joint. This time the brakes cried. Barney Ricketts was sitting at his usual table in his usual state, boiled and loud. Barney's the only ex-bootlegger in the country who went broke in 1922. He says he did that to aggravate a couple of prohibition agents he hated. Well, Barney saw me come in and waved me over to his table.
Ah, Pete Kelly. Welcome, Petey, and have a drink.
Look, Barney, I'm up to my eyes.
Nonsense, Petey. You haven't even opened them yet. Ah, here we are. A drink for you and a drink for me.
Now, listen, Barney, I'm in trouble.
Petey, I have suddenly become oppressed by the state of the world. Well, it's my own fault, Petey, my own fault. I make it a rule never to look at the public prints. But tonight, well, just listen to these few choice items.
Now, look, Barney, right now I'm a moving target for Bacalides' gun.
Last night's edition of the Star. Look here, Petey, September 8, 1923. Girl forced to leap from stranger's automobile. But let us remember, Petey, that the only girls who leap from strangers' automobiles are those who climb into them. And here, look here.
All right, Barney.
California politicians say they are responsible for President Calvin Coolidge's success. Probably insist, Petey, that it's in honor of their state that he's called Cal. And this, Petey...
Barney, look, there's a dead girl in my room.
Marx quoted at 28 cents per million. So you see, Petey, even a German millionaire is pushed hard to feel like 30 cents.
Now, look, Veda Brandt, Bacalides' girl, she's dead, Barney, in my room.
Well, now, that's most careless of you, Petey.
If I run, it's the law, Barney. If I stand still, it's Bacalides.
How did you get mixed up with Veda Brandt and Bacalides?
I don't know. I'm still in last week's fog. She wanted to marry me. Bacalides said I would or else. Why, Barney? Why if he torched for her?
Very simple problem in human relationships, Petey. Tonight, the word got out that Muggsy Brand was sprung.
Who's Muggsy Brand?
Peter's father. He was sent up last year. Peter's his whole life. He tried to guard her like Lupo guards his cash register. He hates Bacalides, and if he learned that he and Veda...
Yeah, now it's coming into focus.
Sometimes, Petey, you're dull-witted. Dull-witted, but stupid.
So Bacalides and Veda rigged it to disarm her old man. She marries me, takes the heat off Bacalides.
Splendid, Petey, splendid.
And her old man winds up throwing a knife at me. All I gotta do now is explain Veda's body in my room to Muggsy Brand.
Precisely what Bacalides expects you to face.
All right. Do the rest of it together for me, will you?
Bacalides is married. He could never square himself with Veda. He got in deeper than he wanted to. He couldn't dump her because of Muggsy coming out. So he ties her onto you, gets her up to your room, leaves her dead on your bed.
How do I back out of this one, Barney?
Do you know where to reach Bacalides?
Yeah, at the Grundy Bank.
His dice game?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, go there. See Bacalides, lay it on the line for him. All the way, just like we talked it here.
Well, they'll cut me down.
You might.
How much edge do I have?
Not quite enough to shave with.
But maybe just enough to cut my throat, huh?
It's your only chance, Pete. You're in the middle of a 3-way push. The law, Bacalides, Muggsy Brand.
All right, Barney. I'm counting on you on the outside.
Don't worry, Petey. I'll be there with bells on.
Yeah, make sure they don't toll for me. Well, I went back to the Grundy Bank and Savings. I had no trouble getting in. The game was just heating up. I stalled around the dark edges of the table for a minute and laid a few bucks on the field. Upstairs, the light was on in the office. The boy with the big piece was still sitting at the window. I could see the head and shoulders of Bacalides. He was still counting money. I started slowly up the stairs, went into the room without knocking. The muscle man swung sharp, pointing the heater at my stomach. Bacalides, fast for a big man, flung out a hand and knocked the gun out of line.
Hold it. Next time knock, or you pick up a lot of weight.
Yeah, or a silk stocking around my neck?
No, for you a knife. From the fingers of the best shiv man in the country.
Muggsy Brandt?
Don't try to run, Kelly. He likes a moving target. Just go to him. Tell him his daughter is in your bed, a stocking around her throat. Tell him you don't understand any of it. He will be very sympathetic.
Well, that's nice, Mr. Bacalides. You set it up real nice.
It's smart, huh?
Sure. You persuade Veda to buzz it around that I'm number one. Everything fixed for her father's ears. Even get her to help you push her across by going up to my room.
Tell a good story, friend. Maybe too good.
Oh, put that rod down, Bacalides, before you drop it and break your toe.
Maxie, take him downstairs. Come back alone.
Petey, look out. Get down. Muggsy.
Barney, you all right?
Shell shock.
Muggsy Brandt?
Yes, Pete. I knew where he was. All he heard was Bacalides.
Kelly.
Yeah, Muggsy.
Bacalides. I got him?
He was between the guns. Not much left of him. Or his trigger man.
Or me. Now listen. You might poke. Money. Take it. You might kid a good burial.
Easy, Muggsy, huh?
She was only a kid. Maybe if she met a guy like... He's gone, Pete.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Pete? A guy like who?
Who knows, Barney? Who knows?
Pete Kelly's Blues, starring Jack Webb, with story by Joe Eisinger and music by Dick Cathcart. Scoring by Matty Matlock. The music of Pete Kelly's Big Seven and Maggie Jackson is now available on phonograph record.
The proceeding was transcribed.
Chesterfield brings you Dragnet.
Put a smile in your smoking.
By Chesterfield. Smoother. Cooler. Best for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a narcotics detail. You get a report that a supply of heroin has reached your city. You don't know who's got it or where it is. Your job? Find out.
Stop! Start smoking with a smile with Chesterfield. Smoother, cooler, milder Chesterfield. Put a smile in your smoking, just give 'em a try. Chesterfield's best for you. They satisfy.
If you want tomorrow's better cigarette today, next time you buy cigarettes, stop. Remember, only Chesterfield is made the modern way with Accuray. You'll notice how fresh and good Chesterfield's made with Accuray taste, how smooth they are, and how they satisfy. So buy Chesterfield today. Best for you.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, May 23rd. It was cool in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out on narcotics detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Walter. My name's Friday. We were on our way back from questioning an informant, and it was 10:46 p.m. when we got to the First Street Station. Narcotics Squad Room.
You think Bronco's holding out on us?
I don't know.
Well, if we don't turn something pretty soon, the stuff will be all over town.
Yeah.
How about a cup of coffee, Joe?
Huh?
Coffee. You want a cup?
Sure, if you got some.
Yeah, I brought a thermos from home.
Oh.
Made it myself the way I like it. You know, strong.
Mm-hmm. I got some cups.
Wait a minute. You don't need them, Joe.
What?
Don't need them. I got cups right here on the top of the thermos, 4 of them. It's some gadget, huh? Look at that. Kids gave it to me for Christmas. Of course, they probably picked it out.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, look at her steam. Really keeps the heat in.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Drink up.
Thanks.
What's the matter? Something the matter?
No, you were right, that's all.
What do you mean?
About it being strong.
Oh, yeah. When I want coffee, I want boiled water, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this stuff's got some taste to it.
It sure has.
Well, aren't you going to finish yours?
Well, I'm not thirsty right now.
Oh. Hey, you know, Joe, I just realized something. All these years I've been working with you, it never dawned on me before.
What's that?
You don't like coffee.
Oh, yes, I do.
No, you don't, Joe. Not the real genuine articles, stuff they serve in restaurants, drugstores, or... Heck, that's not coffee.
It's not, huh?
No, this is coffee.
Yeah.
A little bite to it, a little zing. Yeah. You don't like it.
Well...
All these years I've been working with a partner who doesn't appreciate good coffee. Well, I guess you learn something all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't finish it if you don't want.
Narcotics Friday. Who? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Candy. Mm-hmm. That's right. Are you still at the same place? Sure, I know where it is. What's that room number? Okay. Goodbye. It's Candy Delman.
Yeah?
You heard we were talking to Bronco tonight.
Bronco tell him what it was about?
He must have. At least Candy knows we didn't get anywhere.
Uh-huh.
Says it's our own fault for not going to the right guy.
And who's that?
Him. Candy Delman was an informant who had served 3 sentences for violation of the State Narcotics Act. Since his release from prison, he had given police officers several leads to burglary and robbery suspects. Most of his leads had panned out. As far as we knew, Delman was no longer a narcotics user or a pusher himself, but in the past he had always refused to give any information on the dope racket. Over the phone, he said he was living at the Hattrick Hotel on South Spring Street, room 217. Frank and I left the office and drove out to talk to him. It was 11:22 p.m. when we got to the hotel, a dark, 2-story building badly in need of repair. We went inside and started up the stairs to the 2nd floor.
Get back down here, both of you. Come on, start moving.
What's the trouble, lady?
Something the matter with your eyesight?
No, I don't think so.
Why don't you use it? Sign right here on the desk. Ring for the manager.
Yeah.
Didn't hear no ring, did I?
We didn't see any reason to bother you.
It's my worry, ain't it?
Sure.
Bells are to be rung. And hearing it ain't what bothers me. It's guys like you sneaking in trying to get a free pad for the night.
Take it easy, lady. We don't want to stay here any longer than we have to.
Then what do you want?
We just dropped by to see Candy.
Who?
Candy Delman.
He lives here, doesn't he?
He might.
Well?
A friend of yours?
He's expecting us.
How do I know?
Well, why don't you ask him?
Oh, sure. That's all I gotta do. Tramp up and down them stairs from morning till night. Call him to the phone. Give him messages. Done him for back rent. Well, I ain't making no extra trip on account of you.
Well, you suit yourself.
Just you wait a minute. I ain't said you could go upstairs. You claim to know Candy. What's his room number?
217. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, you be sure you let me know when you leave. And you better be out of here by midnight or I'm collecting a buck from each of you. Friends or no friends, you're not bunking with Candy unless I get paid. In advance!
Oh, she's mouthy, you know. You know something, Joe? Faye was after me just the other day about getting a new suit.
Oh?
I guess she was right.
Yeah. Must be down this way.
Yeah. Maybe you ought to go with me. Buy some clothes yourself.
What for?
Oh, we must need them. If a dame like that figures we'd mooch a room in this joint.
Well, I wouldn't help with her. Here we are.
Yeah, who is it?
Joe.
Just a minute. Come on in.
Thank you. You know Frank Smith, don't you, Candy?
Sure.
Hi, Candy.
Want a drink?
No, thanks.
Smith?
No.
Don't mind if I take a blast?
That's up to you.
As long as I'm drinking alone, there's no point in dirtying the glass. I guess maybe I'm turning into a lush, huh?
Is that right?
Been hitting the bottle pretty hard lately, since I went off the stuff.
That so?
Yeah. You guys knew I was off it, didn't you? I ain't even chip you no more.
Well, you don't have to sell us, Candy.
Well, I ain't selling nobody. I'm just telling you.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you want to see us about?
Anybody know you're here?
The lady downstairs.
You mean the manager of this flea bag?
Yeah, I guess that's what she is.
Lady, you ask me, them flying saucers must be real.
Well?
How else would a dame like that get here? Hey, she knew you cops.
We didn't tell her.
You telling anybody else that you're coming to see me?
No.
Come on, Candy. What's it all about, huh?
Well, take it easy. Don't push me. Why don't you sit down?
We're all right.
You was talking to Bronco tonight, huh?
Well?
I bumped into him right after you shoved off.
That's so.
Yeah, asking a mule like him about H, boy, he's lucky if he can turn a couple sticks of tea.
We're asking everybody.
Didn't ask me.
Well, we figured it'd be a waste of time.
I've helped you guys before.
No, not when it came to the stuff, you didn't.
Maybe this is different.
Yeah.
I always figured a guy gets hooked. That's his own business. He done it himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's his getting hurt, too, yours truly.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hooked 3 times, I don't know.
Yeah, you should.
Guy wants to kick it, it's up to him, too.
Mm-hmm.
You can stick him in a joint, send him to the hospital, maybe he'll get rid of the habit for a while, but if he wants to kick it for good, he's got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else. It ain't easy either. Guy's own business is what happens. Whether he goes for a ride or gets off.
All right, come on, Candy. What are you getting at here?
Horse you're looking for, it ain't just going to guys, boy.
You mean kids, too?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Fella asked me if I wanted to make a buy. I thought I was still shooting caps.
What fella?
Mm-mm.
Come on, we'll stand in front of you, Candy.
Well, you take it my way or you don't get it. That means no names.
All right, give us the rest of it.
Well, like I said, he asked me if I was interested in a buy, and I told him I wasn't.
Yeah.
He said that was okay with him. He had plenty of other customers. He cut a lot thinner for some of them. A pro like me, I might know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Kids just offer the weed, they wouldn't care. He said he was only making me an offer as a favor, you know.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever buy from him before?
Well, look, Joe, just let me tell it, huh?
Go ahead.
Well, the way he talked kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Even when I was pushing, I never sold the kids. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't no saint. I never pushed no kids. It just didn't seem right.
Yeah.
So when I bumped into Bronco tonight and he told me that you guys were looking for H, well, I figured maybe I owed you a hand.
Go ahead.
Make you feel kind of funny?
What?
I never finked on a guy in the trade before. You know that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're out of it now, aren't you?
Yeah, for now. You never know, Joe. 3 times, you know, I've been down. You never know when it's going to happen again. I ain't making no promises, even to myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I ain't never copped out on anything like this before. Sort of like turning myself in. It's good H, too. It's Eastern.
Yeah.
It's been cut, but it's not too thin. The way he talked must have, 6, 8 ounces left. The rest of it's been sold.
Yeah.
He can cut a lot thinner if he wants to. It's dealing with kids. It don't matter, you know.
Yeah.
Where do we find him, Candy?
You ever hear of Walker Drive, Hollywood Hills?
We can find it.
Well, it's not much of a street. It's just 4 or 5 blocks, dead end.
Hmm.
Cuts off a Laurel before you get to Mulholland.
Well, go ahead.
That's it.
Well, which house?
I didn't say nothing about no house. Maybe he lives there, or maybe he's just going up to make a sale. I don't know.
You think he's there now?
I didn't ask him for no time schedule. Now, go on, beat it, will you? I want to get drunk. Oh, hey, look, there's something about you guys that keeps me sober. If you don't shove off, I'm going to run out of booze.
You want to tell us what he looks like, Candy?
You've had it, Joe.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. You haven't given us very much.
Is that so? Well, you know something? It's lucky for you I got principles about pushing the kids.
Yeah.
You'd have got nothing.
We continued to question Delman, but he refused to give us any further information. 11:46 p.m., Frank and I left the Hattrick Hotel, and we drove up into the Hollywood Hills. We turned off Laurel Canyon onto Walker Drive. The street was only 5 blocks long, and there were approximately 20 houses on it. 12:22 a.m., we pulled up at the corner of Walker and Laurel, where we'd be able to notice anybody who turned into or out of the drive. 1:06 a.m., a man approached a Chevy convertible parked across the street from us. We knew he'd walked down from one of the houses on Walker, but we hadn't been able to determine which one. He passed under a street lamp, and we recognized him as Sam Free, a known narcotics user and suspected peddler.
Hold it, Sam.
Huh?
Right where you are. Hold it up.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Turn around, Sam. Put your hands against the side of the car.
Yeah. You guys know me. I don't carry nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what you doing in my pockets? I ain't got no gun. You said so yourself. Now, where the heck did that come from?
Why don't you tell us?
That's the stuff jar.
This all you got, Sam? Well, is it?
Yeah.
You're coming up in the world, aren't you?
What do you mean?
A couple of months ago, all we had you pegged for was a user and a small-time pusher. That's a lot of H. Where'd you get it?
Oh, now, you know better than that.
You're in trouble, Sam.
Okay, you found the stuff on me. That means I'm going to do some time.
A lot of time.
Well, whatever it is, I'd just as soon be in one piece when I come out.
Who's the car belong to, Sam?
What car?
This one right here.
Huh?
You were getting into it, Sam.
Was it?
I'll give it a check. Okay.
All right. It's my car, so what?
I'll still check it.
Who fed you?
What?
To where I was.
You're not hard to find, Sam.
Yeah? You've been looking for me over 3 weeks now.
That's so?
Only you didn't know I was the guy you were after.
Thank you.
For what?
For telling us when the H got into town.
A lot of good it'll do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the day I'd have been clean, you wouldn't have found none of it.
Yeah?
My own fault trying to get a good price. I should have taken what was offered. It's the real stuff, though. A man don't like to give it away.
Mm-hmm.
Joe.
Got something?
Yeah. Take a look in the back seat. A bunch of sweaters. Look like cashmeres.
I bought them for my girl. It's her birthday.
There must be some girl.
Yeah.
At least 40 sweaters there, Joe.
Yeah?
In all different sizes.
Listen to an electronic miracle. This electronic miracle, Accuray, means that everything from auto tires to apple pie, battleship steel to baby food, butter to cigarettes can be made better and safer for you. Now meet Mr. Bert Choate, brilliant young president of Industrial Nucleonics. Well, Bert, exactly what is Accuray?
Well, George, it is a device by which a stream of electrons passes through and analyzes the product while it is actually being made. They transmit what they see to this electronic brain, which adjusts the production machinery for errors down to millionths of an inch.
Well, can you give us an example of what it does?
Sure, take this piece of steel. How thick would you say it is?
Oh, about as thick as the cellophane from a pack of Chesterfields.
Accuray has made it possible to roll that steel accurately 1/10,000th of an inch thick. It takes 10 of these to equal the thickness of a sheet of cellophane.
That's amazing. Now let's get back to the pie and the baby food. Will Accuray bake a pie and tend the baby?
Well, not quite yet, George. But because this electronic control can improve shortening texture, for instance, your wife can bake a more delicious pie. And because Accuray can make baby food more uniform, that food will be more digestible for your baby.
One more question, one that so many people ask me. How does Accuray make Chesterfield a better cigarette than was ever possible before?
Every cigarette made with Accuray control contains a more precise measure of perfectly packed tobaccos. So Chesterfield smokes smoother, without hot spots or a hard draw.
And that's why Chesterfield tastes so much better. And I guess that's why you smoke them yourself, Bert.
You see, I know what Accuray can do.
Well, there's your answer. If you want tomorrow's better cigarette today, next time stop. Remember. Only Chesterfield is made the modern way with Accuray. Best for you.
We took the suspect, Sam, free down to the main jail, and we had him booked on possession of narcotics and suspicion of burglary. An examination of the labels in the sweaters indicated that they were all from the same Whiteside Ladies Sports Shop in North Hollywood. 1:58 a.m. We contacted the owner of the store, Mr. T.P. Whiteside.
Yes, sir, that's right. Mm-hmm. If you would, we'd appreciate it. About 30 minutes? All right, sir, fine. Thank you. Goodbye. Well, he says they're stolen, all right.
Well, why didn't he report it?
Well, he didn't know anything about it until now.
Huh?
It just must have happened tonight.
"2:22 a.m. Frank and I met Mr. Whiteside at his sportswear shop on Lancashire Boulevard. At the rear of the building, we found a cut screen and a window that had been forced open. We called the crime lab and asked them to check the premises for any physical evidence. Mr. Whiteside made a quick survey of his stock, and as far as he could tell, the only missing item was a supply of cashmere sweaters.
I just can't get over it.
How's that, Mr. Whiteside?
You fellas finding out about all this even before I did.
No.
Well, I've done my share of complaining about policemen. In the past, that is.
Yes, sir.
Whenever I got a ticket, I used to say to myself, ain't he got nothing more important to do than pull me over for going a couple of miles too fast? That's what I said.
Yes, sir.
I figured that's all you police fellas cared about, giving folks tickets. Never seemed like you was paying no attention to the real crooks around town.
Mm-hmm.
Guess I owe you an apology.
It's all right. Forget it.
No. Oh, no, I ain't going to forget it. I've been wrong about cops all these years, and you sure showed me tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Apology, that's what I owe you. Going to accept it?
Yes, sir.
Shake?
You bet.
You too, mister?
Huh?
You willing to shake with me?
Oh, sure. You bet. Sure.
Say, about them sweaters you found.
Yes, sir.
Like you to keep a couple of them for your wives or girlfriends.
No, sir, that's all right. Thanks anyway, Mr. Whiteside.
You're entitled. Wasn't for you, I wouldn't be getting them back.
It's our job.
Oh, go on. Keep a couple anyway,
No,
won't
sir,
you?
I'm sorry,
Please.
we can't do that.
Oh, well, I would offer the reward if I'd known about the burglary.
Yes, sir, we understand.
Well, it's your own fault. Nobody else is. You're to blame for it.
How's that?
No reward.
Huh?
Didn't give me time enough.
4:05 a.m. The crew from the crime lab reported that there was no physical evidence at the store. Frank and I went off duty. The next afternoon, May 24th, at 4:16 p.m., we checked our weapons at the booking counter of the city jail, and we asked to interview the prisoner, Sam Free. The booking sergeant told us he was in cell 104.
Yeah?
Free in 104.
Okay. Free in 104 for interview.
Free for interview.
Sit down, Sam.
Sure.
You ready to do some talking?
About what?
The stuff. Where'd you get it?
Now, look, we had it checked by the lab, Sam.
Yeah?
It isn't Mexican. It's from back east someplace.
No kidding. Okay, I got it from back east. I sure don't want to louse up your scientific cats by saying different.
Is that the way you want it on your report?
Huh?
Uncooperative?
Ain't gonna make no difference what you guys put down.
It might, Sam.
Oh, look, you want a deal, I'll talk, otherwise forget it.
We don't make deals, you know that.
Huh? It's up to you.
Now, look, this isn't your first fall, Sam. It's going to go hard with you.
Maybe.
No maybes.
Oh, you never know. I'm chinning with some of the boys back there. They tell me things have changed around here.
Yeah.
Case against me might not stand up.
You wouldn't want to bet on that, would you, Sam?
Just telling you what I heard.
Don't you count on it.
Yeah?
Things haven't changed that much. "4:31 p.m. Frank and I went over to the Hall of Justice to file a complaint against Free. We talked to Deputy District Attorney Don Avery in the complaint department and gave him a complete statement of facts concerning Free's arrest.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Everything that happened?
Yeah. Why? What's the matter, Don? Something wrong with this case?
I don't know yet.
Well, Free himself said it might not stand up. We figured he was just talking.
Yeah.
We got the H, the stolen sweaters. What more do you need?
Let me ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
Now, give me the same answers you'd give in court if you're under oath.
All right.
Free was beside this car when you stopped him, is that right?
That's right.
Did you place him under arrest before you searched it? Well, did you?
Well, not in so many words.
What do you mean?
Well, we knew he was a hype. He knew we were cops. He could have figured that out.
But you didn't say you're under arrest in those words.
No, I don't think I did.
Smith?
Well, Don, we didn't have anything to arrest him for, not until after we found the age.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any reason to suspect he was carrying dope?
Well, like I said, he's a user.
Yeah.
That he was in the neighborhood. We knew somebody around there was carrying.
Well, then you weren't looking for Free in particular.
Well, no.
The way I get it, the burglary hadn't been reported yet, is that right?
That's right.
So finding the sweaters was a surprise.
Yeah, it sure was.
Well, we'll file on him. It may not stick.
What are you talking about, Don?
The evidence.
Well, what's wrong with it?
The way you got it.
What?
You heard about the exclusionary ruling, didn't you?
Yeah.
Skipper had an assembly on it.
Well?
Look, Don, we're not lawyers. We're cops.
Sure. Well, here's the way it operates. Evidence obtained by illegal search or seizure can be thrown out of court. Simple as that.
Yeah?
Federal government has the same ruling. Most of the states don't. We never have until now. Before, if a policeman committed an illegal search or seizure, he could be prosecuted. Lots of times he was.
Mm-hmm.
But the evidence could still be used at the suspect's trial.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way anymore.
No?
Well, look, maybe I'm just thick, Don, but it seems to me the only guy who's better off's the criminal.
That's how I see it, too.
Mm.
Well, all right, now look. Suppose we do pick up a guy. Maybe we aren't right, but we think we're onto something. If he's clean, he's not out anything except a little time and trouble.
Yeah.
And if he isn't, we got some evidence.
Not anymore, you haven't.
Yeah, well, this just don't make sense to me.
Well, what are we supposed to do from here on in?
You want to make a search, you got to get the guy's permission, or put him under arrest first, or have a valid search warrant. Otherwise, it's illegal. Your evidence may not hold.
Let me have that again.
If you want to make a search, you got to get the guy's permission, or put him under arrest first, or have a valid search warrant. Otherwise, it's illegal.
Well, now let's take Free, for instance.
Yeah?
We didn't have anything to arrest him on. As for getting his permission to search, well, I got a big picture of that.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way of getting a search warrant drawn, Don. We didn't even know what we were looking for.
Well, that's the way it's got to be from here on in.
Every time?
Well, there might be some exceptions. I don't know. It's up to the courts to decide.
But what if we're after somebody, a guy who's heavy?
Yeah?
Let's take a killer, maybe, so we want to break in. We supposed to ask him if it's all right if we break in?
You can get a warrant.
Yeah, well, maybe we don't know who he is. Maybe it's 4 o'clock in the morning. What do you do then?
When it comes up, you'll get an answer.
Well, let's come up right now.
What?
We got a dope pusher here. He's been selling H to kids. We got him made, dead to rights. Burglary, too. Now, you say he's going to get off.
I didn't say for sure.
Well, I don't even like to hear a maybe, not in a case like this.
It's the best I can do, Joe. I didn't hand down the ruling. If you'd arrested him first, that'd be different.
Yeah, and if he hadn't been carrying, he could have slapped a suit on us for false arrest.
Only thing I can tell you, get a warrant, get permission, or arrest him first.
Yeah, well, there's only one thing I'm going to tell you. It's not going to work.
Maybe not.
So just what do we do? Go back to pounding beats? Is that it?
Look, I said we might not be able to make it hold up in Free's case. If we can't, you'll get him sooner or later. You've got him pegged. Next time, get to him, so it'll stick.
Well, don't worry about it. We will.
Well?
Tell me one thing, Don, before we do.
Yeah?
How much more stuff is this guy going to peddle?
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On May 30th, the preliminary hearing was held in Division 4, Municipal Court, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that hearing.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Chesterfield, made the modern way with Accuray. I wonder if you realize what that means to you. For the first time, you get a perfect smoke column in your cigarette. A smoother smoke. A cooler smoke than you've ever had before. To put a smile on your smoking, try 'em. Chesterfield.
In the case of Sam Arthur Free, the court ruled that the evidence against him had been obtained by illegal search and seizure. The charges against the suspect were dismissed. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Virginia Gregg, Jack Crucian, Herb Ellis, Vic Rodman. Script by Frank Burt. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Watch an entirely different Dragnet case history each week on your local NBC television station. Please check your newspapers for the day and time. Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
This is it, L&M Filters. It stands out from all the rest. Miracle tip, much more flavor.
L&M's got everything.
It's the best.
No other cigarette gives you L&M's assurance. Assurance that it is best. L&M's got everything. Superior taste, superior tobacco, superior filter. Buy L&M today.
Most of you are Gunsmoke radio fans, and many of you have written to the makers of Chesterfield and L&M filters, asking them to put Gunsmoke on television, too. Here's the good news. Gunsmoke is going on TV starting Saturday night, September 10th. If you enjoy Gunsmoke on radio, we're sure you'll go for Gunsmoke on TV. Now, television will have an authentic adult Western, the Gunsmoke you know on radio. Remember, Saturday night, September 10th, Gunsmoke on TV. Check your local listings for time and station.
This is the NBC Radio Network.
My name's Regan. I get 10 a day in expenses from a detective bureau run by a guy named Anthony J. Lyon. They call me the Lion's Eye.
With Jack Webb as Jeff Regan, the Lion's Eye, stand by for hard-boiled action and mystery and thrilling adventure in tonight's story of The Gambler and His Ladies.
You find it in Hollywood, on Taft Avenue. 4-story apartment building, the color of a rainy afternoon. They call it the Havenwood. It sags in the middle like a tired frankfurter. That's where I live. Apartment 3K. 2 rooms with a pull-down bed and a pair of windows that stick when it's hot. Oh, the view isn't much. 6 strands of telephone wire and the head of a shaved-off palm tree. Beyond is the city, L.A., spread out on the map like a raw egg with a broken yolk. Oh, the town's all right, I guess, if you can afford to set it is. The Lion likes it. He set himself up as a receiving clerk for trouble, and I worked for him. It was about 11:15 Tuesday night when my phone began making itself felt. Turned out to be the Lion breathing hard. It figured he was running his fingers over a greenback.
Regan, want to hear the sound of a brand new $50 bill?
Send me a record.
What's the matter? You sound like you're flat on your back.
How do you sleep?
Who's sleeping? I'm working, and that's what you're going to be doing.
Try me tomorrow.
Throw on some clothes. You're going down to Venice Boulevard to see a lady. She's got daughter trouble.
Well, marry her off.
She didn't pay us $50 for that. The problem goes deeper.
How much?
She'll tell you.
I want it from you.
I don't know it all for sure.
Don't you ever check into things?
I do the general work. You get the details.
Yeah, you drag a wet rag over the 50, and if the ink stays on, we got a client.
That's insulting.
How would you know?
Regan, you don't want to keep a lady waiting. Now get a move on.
Give me the name.
This is Eleanor Bascom, Pierpont Hotel.
Yeah?
And phone me after you talk to her.
What for?
I want to be sure it's legit.
Do you care?
Better make that call to me tomorrow after 10. I'm sort of going to be tied up till then.
Doing what?
Sleeping.
Well, I put on some clothes, picked up my car, and moved out to Venice Boulevard. The good humor men were all gone, and I had the street to myself. 20 minutes later, I came to a stop beside a garbage can near San Pedro. Behind it stood the Pierpont Hotel, a 2-deck pile of wood left over from the sinking of the Spanish Armada. There was a black and dirty white sign outside, said rooms 50 cents, weekly and monthly rate. The names Eleanor and Georgia Bascom showed in the mailbox and gave a room 210. I climbed a flight of stairs and walked down a hall that looked like a passageway in a pyramid. It was dark, and it took my cigarette lighter to turn up the numbers. 210 finally showed, and I rapped on the door. A bush of black and gray hair pulled it open. It was wearing a red kimono and an impatient look, like a tax collector in January. She was pushing 50 and looked tired.
Yes?
I'm Regan, international detective.
Oh, yes, Lyons. I've been waiting for you. Come in. I'm Mrs. Bascom.
Eleanor or Georgia?
Georgia's my daughter. I want to apologize for getting you out here this time of night, Mr. Regan, but it's urgent.
The Lion said that the girl's the problem, huh?
Yes.
How old is she?
22.
Who's the man?
How'd you know there was a man?
Well, what other kind of trouble would she go after?
She's a good girl, Mr. Regan. She always has been.
Until now, huh?
That's what I want to know.
Now, she's old enough to call her place.
That's not the advice I'm paying for.
Where'd you get the 50?
It took a lot of saving.
All right, give me his name.
Louis Desmond.
Gambler, card sharp, bookie, all-around con man.
He's got a card room out toward Gardena someplace, a 5 Aces club.
What did your daughter see in him?
Oh, it's this place. The way we have to live. She's tired of having nothing. I've tried, but she's looking for a change.
And taking a wrong turn.
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, other girls have it real tough. They go to work.
Well, we had a little trouble in the family once. It shows up if someone starts looking.
When can I talk to Georgia?
Well, you'll have to work that out yourself, Mr. Regan.
What does that mean?
She put some clothes in a suitcase and left earlier this evening. That's why I had to call you so suddenly.
Mm-hmm. Where'd she go?
Louis is a real bum, Mr. Regan.
You talk like you know him.
We've met. I want to know just what's going on. If Louis is forcing her into anything crooked.
She force easy?
A fur coat makes a young girl do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a picture of her. You may need it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very good, but the only one I've got.
I'll make it work.
Well, that's about all, Mr. Regan. Get in touch with me as soon as you get something.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Regan.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I'm the kind of person who sometimes gets hysterical over things, but I'm also the kind who demands results.
You sound like a radio commercial. It was after midnight when I followed the fog out Vermont toward Gardena. The yellow lights were pressing, but they were doing about as much good as a pint of bourbon at a Shriners convention. I wandered around the flatland for a while before the 5 Aces Club turned up by a bend in the road. It looked like a blue wart with a neon sign. There was a front door and a back one, and a couple of pairs of shoulders standing at each. A little guy in a pinstriped gray was figuring the size of the wallets going in. Louis Desmond's office showed at the top of the stairway, and I moved for it. But a muscle looking down on 6 feet was playing frontman. He put a knotted hand on my arm, and when he spoke, it sounded like a gear factory doing double time.
Slow down, Pilgrim. The room you're looking for is the other way.
Yeah, well, this one says office.
That's the trouble with you guys who read. Can't take hints.
Spell it out.
Beat it.
Not until I see Louis Desmond.
What's your business?
I'll tell it to him.
You owe him some dough?
No, I don't.
Then he ain't interested.
He will be.
Listen, Junior.
Come on, get him off of me, punk.
Hey,
what's all the noise, Patsy?
Sightseer without a ticket.
My name's Regan.
Cup?
Maybe.
You want me to bounce him down the stairs, boss?
Maybe. What do you want?
Talk.
That's always a waste of time.
Not if it's about Georgia Bascom.
Come on in. Never saw you around here before, Regan.
No, I can't afford it.
Oh, don't say that. Some people go out of here with more than they come in with.
Yeah, you.
Guess you're right at that. Cigar?
No, thanks.
Well, what about Georgia, Regan?
You tell me.
That doesn't add. You came to see me.
She's got a worried mother.
They're all like that.
Now, this one figures you're doing a little forcing.
Oh.
You'd know more about that.
Give me a clue.
Blackmail, maybe?
You're a kick. Arthur Godfrey'd love to get a hold of you.
I come too high.
Let me give you some good advice. Go home and pull a blanket over your head and say it's all a bad dream.
You know, you talk a lot, mister, but you don't say much. What's the hold on Georgia?
All
right, wise guy. Honey. Come over here, baby. Regan, you know this girl?
I've seen a picture.
Georgia, this is a peeper named Regan. He come to rescue you.
But what for, Mr. Regan?
$50.
My mother gave you that to come and take me back?
Something like that.
But I can't go.
Why not?
Well,
Go ahead. Show him, baby.
look, Regan. 3 carats.
With a wedding band to match.
On what dice table did you pick those up?
Stop the noise, Regan. Congratulate the lady.
Not on a bad mistake.
Listen, Shamus.
Oh, never mind him, Louis. He doesn't matter.
When did the furs come?
Louis said soon. Tell Mama we're married and not to worry. We're going away for a few days.
Ensenada for some gambling and fishing.
You won't enjoy it.
Sure I will. You'll be in L.A.
The alley behind the Five Aces Club hadn't been dusted in a week. My brown flannel suit fixed that. Well, I picked myself up and made it for the car. Moving north on Vermont, I tried to add a couple of things. There was a funny smell in Louis's office when I first walked in, like rope on fire. Somebody'd been there before me who smoked cubebs. Desmond worked on cigars. Georgia held a king-size Pall Mall. Well, whoever it was still played it coy. About 1 o'clock, I started raising a small campaign with the Lion's door knocker. His dream must have been a real good one because it took him 10 minutes to get to the door. He was wearing a nightgown, and he looked like a poor imitation of the Fisk tire ad. All that was missing was the candle.
Regan, I told you not to bother me until after 10 a.m.
It's no bother.
Get out of here, let a man sleep.
Your dreams will be bad.
What do you mean?
You just lost a client.
What's the matter, the money phony?
Georgia Bascom married Desmond. There's nothing I can do about it.
Well, think of something. Say you married her first.
You're out of your mind.
So it's a bad idea. Get a good
Yeah,
one.
I already have.
What is it?
You give Mrs. Bascom her case back.
Well, you can't do that.
Try me.
Think a minute, Regan. She's come to us for help. A lonely woman with no place to turn entrusts her trouble to International.
You got that 50 spent?
It's not the money, it's the moral obligation.
Oh, stop it, will you? You don't give blood anymore since you found out somebody'd pay for it.
You're getting on a line.
You're the only guy in town who can turn a shaving cut into a bankroll.
That's enough. Well, let's do it this way. You go over to Mrs. Bascom and give her the lowdown. Let her decide if she wants you to carry on or not.
You sure go to a lot of trouble for a 50.
I need a lot of new stuff around the place.
Well, it's close to Christmas, right to Santa Claus. Well, I left the Lion looking for a fountain pen, and I drove out to Venice Boulevard in the Pierpont Hotel. The place still looked the same. A black Nash was parked up the block, the motor going. A couple of cats were doing a duet on a garbage can. I climbed the stairs to the second floor, and I started down the hall for 210, walking real easy to keep the boards from creaking, but somebody else didn't care about the noise. There was a gun with a silencer working in Mrs. Bascom's room. I pushed the door in, but by then all I could hear was silence. The light showed an open window by the fire escape, and the wind was blowing the curtains. Mrs. Bascom lay face down on the bed, real still, and the holes in her blanket were turning wet. The Lion really lost a client that time. Well, it didn't take Sanducci and the boys long to get there. The fingerprint man and the photographers went to work in the room. Sanducci picked me. He had a grouch on like a fat lady in an upper berth.
What's the matter, Regan? You get lost?
What do you mean?
You're pretty far from home.
Well, I get around.
Who is she?
Name's Eleanor Bascom.
I know that. What'd she do? Where'd she come from?
I don't know.
What were you doing out here?
She called in the Lion. Her daughter ran off with Louis Desmond.
Oh, he in it? How far?
Ask him.
Mrs. Bascom wants you to bring her daughter back.
She wanted to know if the girl was moving into a racket.
Was she?
I haven't found out.
I should have known better than to ask a detective. Why didn't she call us?
She was behind on her taxes.
What do you do, Private? Sit up nights figuring ways to make my job harder?
You through with me?
No. Who killed her, Regan?
I don't know.
Bad choice of words.
Go check a black Nash parked up the street.
Got a license number?
No, I haven't.
Thanks a lot.
Look, I'm no medium. I didn't know she was marked.
Any other big ideas?
A few.
Well, keep them to yourself. They're all wrong. Now get out of here.
Yeah. Say, Sanducci.
Yeah?
The Lion can handle another client now.
So what?
Want to sign up? Well, I went home and slept. Coffee and warmed-over biscuits at the drugstore took care of breakfast the next morning. Then I checked the phone book. Louis Desmond's home address turned up on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills, and so I drove out there. It was on a corner. A 2-story colonial place with white colors and green shutters. The doorbell sounded like a second chorus of the Hollywood Bowl. The Japanese maid let me in, and I waited in the anteroom. That's when I caught that peculiar smell again. Somebody had just been there who smoked those KIBM cigarettes. Well, a couple of minutes later, a tall blonde fighting 30 stepped up to me. She smelled like she just crawled out of a bottle of Platine. It was a bright morning, but she had the kind of look that had you wishing for an eclipse.
Well, what do you want?
Louis Desmond.
Census taker?
No.
What's he done?
I don't know yet. Where is he?
I don't know where he is. He didn't come home last night.
Lots of work at the office?
Card room out in Gardena.
Lots of work out there?
He didn't say. He doesn't tell me everything.
Should he?
Depends on what you think of your marriage vows.
Who are you?
His wife. Want a drink, mister?
Sure.
What'll it be?
Yours?
Bourbon. You pour. I don't know when to stop.
All right. Here you go.
To marriage. It's a mess.
Cigarette?
Never touch him. Interferes with my drinking.
Who smokes the KIBM?
Is that what that stuff is?
Yeah.
The little guy walked in here looking for Louis and smelled up the place.
Hiya, Stella.
Oh, hello, Patsy. Just in time for a drink.
Company?
Yeah. What's your name, fella?
He knows.
You earn hard, don't you, Regan?
What's going on?
He's an eye.
So what?
So he gets a bounce.
He's my friend.
Beat it, Seamus, or I'll split you.
Stay right where you are. This is my house, and I'll entertain who I want.
With the boss's liquor?
I've got some rights.
Well, figure out what they are and try 'em on the boss.
I don't like you, Patsy.
Beat it, Peeper.
Get your paws off of me. Come on, get him off.
Stop it, Patsy. Stop it, I said.
Well, you hit him pretty hard, lady.
No, I didn't. His head's soft.
Well, I left her picking up pieces of glass, and I drove back toward Hollywood. I was moving east on Sunset, trying to make some sense out of Desmond's domestic life, when I spotted that black sedan again. It was doing a real bad tag job on me. I pushed the pedal closer to the floor, but the sedan had better gas. It caught me going around a bend past Beverly Glen and started pushing me. So it was a great place for a boulevard stop, but none showed. All it did was a reflection in my rearview mirror of the driver in the black sedan. It was feminine, and the voice spelled out Georgia Bascom. That's when she moved in for a closer look.
You are listening to the story of the gambler and his ladies. Tonight's adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator. Listen, this is good news. Good news for you if you're between the ages of 20 and 26 and a half, married or single, a high school graduate, and want to fly for the United States Air Force. Yes, the Air Force Aviation Cadet Program is offering you the opportunity to become a pilot officer in the mightiest Air Force in history. You can be one of the Air Force's men of renown. And there's more offered than the pride you feel in being a member of America's flying team. For after your 52 weeks of training, you'll graduate as a second lieutenant in the Air Force with an income of more than $300 per month. Remember, the Air Force offers you what it offered General Jimmy Doolittle, General Carl Spaatz, and General Hoyt Vandenberg, now at 42, the Air Force Chief of Staff. Call at your local Army and Air Force recruiting station tomorrow. Apply to become an aviation cadet. And now, back to the story of the gambler and his ladies and Jeff Regan, Investigator.
Well, things were moving as fast as the last reel in a Western movie. The Lion sent me out to see a lady who was having daughter trouble. Georgia Bascom had done a tie-in with a gambler named Louis Desmond, only it looked real permanent. She was wearing his wedding ring, and the mother ended up carrying a couple of bullets, and homicide moved in. That's when I met a blonde at Desmond's house who said she was Louis's wife. Well, I was working on the mess when a black sedan with Georgia at the wheel ran me off the road, and the slugs began to fly. I peeled myself off the side of the hill, and I got in touch with the police. Sanducci took over and invited me to headquarters for some more talk. He put me in a little room with pale green walls and sat behind a big desk chewing a dead cigar. He was taking me all in like a Hoover vacuum cleaner on a dirty rug.
Well, how do you feel, Regan?
All right.
You shouldn't.
Why not?
Looks to me like from here on in you're a marked man.
I'll get along.
It'll be real interesting to see how.
All right, now look, have you got something to say?
Maybe.
Well, let's hear it.
Relax, Regan. You're not going anyplace.
You can't hold me. I was the one who got shot at.
Well, that's enough. I'll work out a way to hold you for creating a disturbance.
It won't work.
Listen, you. The bullets we pulled out of your upholstery matched the ones in Mrs. Bascom's.
So what?
So we figure she was knocked off because she knew something somebody didn't want said. We also figure that applies to you.
Yeah, well, that gets you nothing.
All right, Regan. Play it your way this time. You'll come running back when the heaters close in.
Don't make book on it.
Well, if you got to get yourself knocked off, don't mess up our city street.
Yeah, I'll be real careful.
Oh, and wear a dark suit that save our morticians a little trouble.
That all?
Yeah, go on, beat it, sure. Oh, Regan.
Yeah.
E baffi di tuo padre.
What's that mean?
Your father's mustache.
Well, it was late afternoon by the time I walked out of headquarters. The sun was still working, but it was cold. The cab driver, with a lot of conversation, drove me to my place over on Taft. When I opened my front door, I smelled it again, those cubebs. A small face was sitting on my sofa, sucking on them. It belonged to a guy who had to stand on a box to see over a fox terrier. When I shut the door behind me, he ground the cigarette into an ashtray and turned on a nervous look like a pig in a football factory.
Your landlady let me in, Mr. Regan. I hope you don't mind. I have to talk to you.
We met before.
We did? I don't remember.
Just me and your cigarettes.
Huh? Oh. You mind if I smoke?
You just finished one.
Oh, yes, so I did. May I have a drink then? Just a small one.
All right.
Thank you. I generally don't drink, but tonight Yeah, thank you. Now, I barely know where to begin.
Well, you better figure it out. You haven't got much time.
Yes. Well...
Start with a name.
Is that necessary?
Yeah, it is.
Loper, Max Loper. I'm a businessman.
What kind?
What kind? Furrier. Yeah, I'm a furrier, Mr. Regan. All sorts of furs, ermines, nice. Generally, I prefer sable, but it depends on the woman, you know.
What does Georgia get?
Beg pardon?
Let it go.
I'm not the man I used to be, Mr. Regan. My fortunes have changed. Yeah, it changed. I think I better have that cigarette.
Save it for later and start making sense.
Well, I need help.
Why come to me?
Well, Mrs. Bascom thought enough of you to ask you to help her. You see, I know Mrs. Bascom. That is, I knew Mrs. Bascom. Her death was so sudden.
It was forced.
Yeah, so the papers say. But, Mr. Regan, I want you to know I didn't do it.
Who said you did?
Well, nobody yet. But I didn't do it.
Look, why tell me?
There's nobody else I can tell.
Try the police.
No, that's what I can't do. I want you to prove to them that I wouldn't do a thing like that.
Loper, what's your tie-in with Desmond?
Desmond? Why? There is no tie-in.
You were at his card room. I smelled your cigarettes there. You got nothing, I guess, and you went to his house.
Mr. Regan, that's got nothing to do with it.
I think different.
But you're wrong, all wrong.
Convince me.
I didn't do the murder. That's what I want you to tell the police.
Who did?
I don't know.
Well, now I think you do. Come on. Who killed George's mother?
It was her stepmother who was killed.
Give me some more.
Oh, you got me all confused. I guess coming to you for help was a bad idea.
Something was.
I'll find somebody else who doesn't ask so many questions. I better go.
No, not yet, little man. You got too many answers.
Take your hands off me. Mr. Regan, I never used one of these, but the theory is simple. Just pull the trigger.
If you can find it.
Don't urge me. Open the door. Go on.
Sure.
Now step away. See you later, Mr. Regan.
Hey, look. He made it to the staircase, and then the noise came. A couple of bullets flew up the spiral and caught him in the chest. He stopped in midair for a second like a yo-yo on a string, and then he toppled over and rolled down. By the time I got to him, he was all used up. Well, a call into homicide brought some of the boys out, and they took care of him. A fat guy with a head like a plunger took some pictures for a paper, and a girl with a leaky fountain pen got the story. It took about an hour and a half to clear my place. But the minute the crowd moved out, the lion moved in.
He had a sheet of paper in one hand, and his face was lit up like an old maid at a cocktail party.
This concerns Louis Desmond and Georgia Bascom. You interested?
Yeah?
Desmond's got a wife, and her name's not Georgia.
No, it's Stella, and she's a ripe candidate for a drunk tank.
What else do you know about her?
She's jealous.
Well, there's no record any place of a divorce or of a marriage between Georgia and Desmond. That whole setup's a phony.
Tell me why.
Georgia's father, named Peter Bascom, was a furrier. And he was once in on a fur job with the same Louis Desmond.
Go on.
The old Bascom ended up with a bullet in him, and Louis with a pile of dough.
How did it work?
I can't find out everything. You got to do something.
You know a Max Loper?
Never heard of him.
You got an address on this Georgia?
The Arena Hotel, room 406, on Catalina, off Wilshire.
All right.
The way I figured, an insurance company might be real interested to get hold of her.
No, the gas chamber's got priority.
We figured the swindle first. Collect the fat bonus, then let the city handle her any way it wants. Call me when you get it all sold up.
What are you going to be doing?
Resting at home. I'm all worn out.
Yeah, well, that figures. You've been doing a little thinking. The Lorena Hotel, 6 stories of plush carpet and gold paint. It was night when I got there and the neon was on. The buzzer brought the door open and Georgia Bascom stood there carrying an overcoat. She had her purse under her arm and it figured she was leaving. When she saw me, she turned on a surprised look.
Oh, Mr. Regan.
Moving out?
Just a little errand.
It'll keep. Shut the door.
Now, see here. Well, that's a lot of nerve.
Don't let it bother you. There are bigger things.
Like what?
A fur job you and Louie are working on.
What are you talking about?
And a little murder. Throw your purse on the sofa.
I will not.
Come on, lady. It's getting heavy. Now open the closet door. Come on.
There. I hope you're satisfied.
I'm not much on fashions. Read them to me.
3 ermine, 3 sable.
10,000 apiece.
More.
Max loafers.
Yeah.
Well, you can't wear them on. You got a friend?
I don't need one.
All right, sis. What is it?
Nothing.
That's your version.
You could be wrong.
When'd you marry Desmond?
Last week.
Bad answer. He's got a wife named Stella. Bigamy will get him in trouble.
Well, that's his problem.
No, it's yours, too, if the courts can prove you knew.
All right, I didn't marry him.
Then why the wedding ring?
Hey, you ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, I do.
Why don't you get out of here?
Louie's not new on fur jobs. He knows how much work it is to palm him off.
You're talking to yourself.
Loper never got to outlive a double cross.
What are you going to do with that?
Nothing. Homicide will work it out.
I didn't kill anybody.
You'll work up a sweat proving it.
Louis did it, honest. He killed my stepmother because she knew how the job worked. He gave it to Loper, too. He would...
Hiya, friends.
It must be raining. The worms are coming to the top.
Hello, Louis. Regan's got it figured. I was just stalling him till you got here.
Sure, Georgia. I know.
Honest, Louis, honest. I didn't mean to say you did the knockoffs.
We'll talk about it later.
Better finish it now. You're not going to be around.
We'll see.
They got a spot all staked out for you up north.
Isn't that interesting? Regan, I got a set of instructions for you. I want you to be real nice and follow them.
What's in it for me?
You kill me, Seamus. I'm holding all the cards. You want to rake in the pot.
I better get going, Louis. We shouldn't be seen together right now.
Slow down, baby. I got something for you, too.
Louis,
Big mouth. Big mouth.
Look, you didn't have to hit her more than once.
She got off easy. Everybody's got 32 teeth.
Desmond moved us out of the apartment and down the hall. Georgia was beginning to sob, but Desmond wasn't impressed. He held the gun under his coat and walked behind us careful, like an elephant on the crate of eggs. The button brought the elevator, and the 3 of us went in, and then it started down. When the door swung open on the first floor, a whiff of bourbon came floating in, packing a .32. Louis turned white.
Stella!
I told him if he kept messing around, he was going to have trouble at home.
You want to give me the gun?
No. What's your name, girlie?
Georgia.
Were you in love with Louis?
I don't know.
Well, go find out. You want it now, Regan? It's empty.
You know, lady, you fixed nothing.
What do you mean?
Where you're going, you'll all be together again. Well, it was all over fast, like a $1 dinner. The coroner's office sent out some boys for Georgia and Louis, and Sanducci picked up Stella. Desmond had himself a pretty good thing.
do a tie-in with a furrier and move the furs across the border with nobody making a fuss. All it was slow work, but $10,000 a week's pretty good pay, and it was real safe. Loper wasn't going to say the furs were even stolen until they were turned into money. Of course, he never got to say it at all. Everything would have been all right if Stella didn't see green every time Louis saw blonde. Well, the insurance company thanked us for what we did to expose the fraud. The Lion was unhappy. He said they should have shown their gratitude with something more lasting. They gave it to him, a 1949 pocket calendar.
Jack Webb is featured as Jeff Regan, with Herb Butterfield as Anthony J. Lyon. It's CBS at the same time next week for more hard-boiled action and mystery with Jeff Regan, Investigator. Written by Larry Roman, produced by Sterling Tracy. Included in tonight's cast were Mary Lansing, Marvin Miller, Pat McGeehan, Lorette Philbrandt, Jack Petruzzi, Yvonne Patey, and Sidney Miller. Original music for this program is by Milton Charles. Bob Stevenson speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to narcotics detail. You get a tip that a man is peddling heroin at his place of residence. He's a known user. Your job? Check it out.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, September 6th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of narcotics detail. My partner is Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Walter. My name's Friday. We were on our way out from the office, and it was 9:33 p.m. when we got to the corner of 8th and Temple. Converted garage.
Is that the right address?
Yeah, why don't you swing around here at the corner? We can park across the street up there.
Okay.
Yeah, right up here will do.
All right. Sure isn't much of a house. Looks more like a store or something.
Yeah.
You sure that's where he's living, Joe?
Yeah, Nicky says the place used to be a garage.
Oh?
Fellow who ran it went broke. Turned it into living quarters.
Oh, I see. How long's Denson been staying here?
About 6 months.
Alone?
No, he's got his family with him. Wife, 2 or 3 kids.
Well, what do you think? Should we tap him now?
Let's give it a couple of minutes, see if he's drawn any customers.
Okay. Is this Nicky sure about all this?
Yeah, he says he is. Says Denson's loaded for action, 30 or 40 caps.
Just got him tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Nicky know who he got him from?
If he does, he wouldn't tell me.
Joe. Front door.
Yeah.
Must be the wife. Wonder who she's looking for.
I don't see anybody.
Guess she doesn't either.
Well, that might make it a little easier for us.
What do you mean?
She left the door open. Approximately 45 minutes earlier, we'd received a telephone call from an informant named Nicky Corbin. Corbin had reported that Slim Denson, a known narcotics user who lived at the corner of Temple and 8th, had some 30 or 40 caps of heroin in his possession. Corbin said Denson was getting ready to push the stuff. Frank and I waited across the street from the Denson residence for 26 minutes. During that time, no one came in or out of the house, but the front door remained open. 9:59 p.m., a young man turned the corner and headed into the converted garage. 5 minutes later, he reappeared and started down the street.
Should we talk to him?
Yeah. Wait a minute, Frank.
Huh? I guess he forgot something.
Yeah.
Going back inside.
Let's give him some company. The man re-entered the Denson residence. As soon as he disappeared through the front door, I moved in after him. At the same time, Frank went around to the rear of the building. The garage had been crudely partitioned into rooms, and the front area contained an overstuffed sofa, a dining room table and chairs, and a TV set. In addition to the young man who had gone in ahead of me, there were two other people in the room. The woman who had previously appeared in the doorway and a sallow-faced, middle-aged man.
Now, hold on, mister. Where do you think
Police
you're going?
officer, you're under arrest.
Police?
That's right. Don't move any of you.
It's a fine time for you to be showing up. You ought to be ashamed.
How's that?
3 hours ago. That's when you should have been here. That's when we needed you.
Oh, now, take it easy, Alice. Don't start raising no stink.
Little girl, only 7 years old, running around the city like this. Lord knows what could have happened to her. You call a cop, he don't even show up till 3 hours later.
I told you, hold your mouth.
Elsie's my baby. I was half out of my mind when she didn't come home from school. No thanks to you that she got home at all.
I don't know what you're talking about, lady.
Elsie, that's what I'm talking about, my baby.
Yeah. Anybody else around, Frank?
Yeah, a couple of youngsters sleeping in one of the back rooms. That's it.
All right. Now move over that wall. Go on, move.
Never heard of such a thing. Little girl gets lost on her way home from school. You send for a policeman that treats you like you were
You better get it straight, lady. You're under arrest. All of you. It hasn't got anything to do with your daughter.
Arrest?
Hey, but you can't arrest me. I ain't done anything.
Is that so?
You gotta have a reason for picking somebody up, a good reason.
Suspicion of violation of the State Narcotics Act. Is that good enough?
What?
Come on, over against the wall. Come on, move. I'll check them, Joe.
Well, I see. You sure are making a mistake.
Yeah, we always do.
Oh, it's any mistake. You're plumb out of your mind. That's what you are.
Sure.
Called you on account of Elsie. On account of she got lost.
You're all right. This ain't good.
That's why we wanted you. Help find her. Didn't have nothing to do with no narcotics.
If your daughter was missing and you reported it, you'd have had plenty of help.
Of course we reported it 3 hours ago. That's when you called them, Slim.
Huh?
When you went down to the drugstore, you said you was going to use the phone.
Oh.
Well, you called them, didn't you?
I guess maybe I forgot.
Forgot? Your own flesh and blood? Your own baby?
What's the difference? She's home, ain't she?
A lot of difference. You give me your word.
Now,
That's all.
look. You found your little girl. You got something else to worry about now.
I sure don't know what you're aiming at, mister.
You don't, huh?
Neither do I. You're accusing me of having something to do with narcotics, and I ain't never been mixed up with dope. I never even touched the stuff, not once.
Well, then we'll start with you.
Well, go right ahead. I ain't got nothing to hide.
What's your name?
Boston, Jerry Boston.
How old are you?
23.
You live around here?
Down the street, 4 houses east.
What do you do for a living, Jerry?
I work in a filling station over on Pico.
You married?
Yeah?
You got any kids?
No, not yet. We're expecting one next month.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think you're going?
I just wanted to see if the youngsters are still
Stay right here. They'll be all right.
Well, you're only talking to Jerry. I don't know
We'll
what.
get around to you soon enough. Now, why don't you sit down and take it easy, lady?
Better do like you said, huh?
Bullying a person in our own home.
Why'd you come over here tonight, Jerry?
I heard about Elsie that she was missing. I wanted to find out they'd found her.
I see. You came in, you went out, and then you came back in again. Is that it?
Yeah, that's right.
Well?
Well, Kitty wanted me to ask Mrs. Denson here something. Kitty's my wife.
Yeah.
I forgot when I was here first, so I had to come back.
What was it your wife wanted to find out? Come on, Jerry.
Oh, wasn't nothing important, just something about when you're having a baby.
Uh-huh. You want to step over here now, Jerry?
Huh?
Over here, please. Beside the table.
Sure.
All right, empty your pockets, will you?
Yes, sir.
Take everything out.
All right. That's it.
All right, now turn the pockets inside out. How much money you got there, Jerry?
20, 25 bucks.
You always carry that much cash, too?
Oh, I got paid today.
Mm-hmm. Okay, son, roll up your sleeves.
Do what?
Your sleeves. Come on, roll them up.
All right.
A little higher. Come on.
Okay.
Okay, roll them back down. You and the Dansons pretty good friends, are you?
Oh, we're neighbors.
How long you know each other?
4 or 5 months, I guess. However long they've been living here. Hey, what the heck are you doing with that lamp?
Why, is the light bother you?
Well, it's kind of bright when you're looking right into it.
Okay, Jerry, put your stuff back in your pocket. Now take a seat someplace.
Hey, wait a minute. You mean I got to stay here?
For the time being, yeah.
Well, look, Kitty will be worried. I only thought I was going to be gone a couple of minutes. Idea of putting a nice young fellow like Jerry through all this foolishness. Well.
Let's see how well you do it now, Denson.
Huh?
Come on, over here.
You already been wrong once, haven't you?
Maybe.
No sense carrying on like this. No sense at all. Now, why don't you fellas just admit you made a mistake and go on your way?
Over here. Come on, quit stalling, will you? Move. Now, go ahead. You empty your pocket. Is that all of it?
You got every little doodad.
Turn them inside out.
Whatever you say.
What do you do for a living?
Well, at the moment, I'm sort of looking around, you might say.
Yeah, I bet you. You got a family, Denson. How you feeding them?
Oh, we manage. We manage pretty good.
How?
Don't you worry none about my children. They ain't going hungry as long as I can work.
You live off your wife, do you?
Now, ain't no way to put it at all. She's just helping out while I'm having a rough spell.
All right, Denson, roll up your sleeves, huh? Come on, get them up, will you? Frank. Yeah. Look at this. He's got more tracks in the Southern Pacific.
Yeah. Well, looky here. I must have scratched myself the other day. You know, I was doing some carpenter work.
How long have you been a hype fella?
Afraid I don't know what you mean.
Quit wasting our time, Denson. Now, how long?
Well, I reckon ain't no point in lying to you, gentlemen. Fact of the matter is, I did do a little chipping once in a while when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that was some years ago.
Those marks haven't even started scarring yet. And from the looks of them, you're building up to a big batch of infections there.
Must be them scratches I was telling you about.
All right, Denson, where is it?
Huh?
The stuff, where'd you stash it?
Come on, Denson. We know you got 30 caps. We're going to find it anyway, so I hold out.
30 caps? A guy like me couldn't afford that much stuff. Now, you ought to have more sense.
What'd you do, give it to your wife?
You ought to say a thing like that. Well, even if I did have a little H, I sure wouldn't want her to get involved. Last person in the world. Now, you can say whatever you got in mind to where I'm concerned. Now, you just leave her out of this.
You were pretty anxious to go into the bedroom a little while ago, Mrs. Denson.
I told you leave her out. Now, if you won't do what I tell you...
Take it easy, Denson.
It don't matter what happens to me. You can lock me up, give me the gas chamber. It don't matter. But my wife, she's a fine woman. I won't have you attacking her reputation. You can throw me in jail if you want to, stand up in front of a firing squad.
Hey, come on, Denson.
But there's no reason to drag her in.
Now. Sit down.
She ain't done nothing. No reason to drag her in.
How about it, Miss Denson?
I just don't know what you're looking for, mister. I swear I don't.
Well, now, either you've still got it on you, or you've got it in the bedroom. Which is it? Well, you're not giving us any choice. Guess you better put in a call to the office, Frank.
Yeah.
Ask them to send a team over to take this joint apart.
Right.
Tell them we're bringing in a couple of suspects. See if they can get a policewoman to stand by so there'll be somebody to search Mrs. Denson when we get there.
All right.
Now, you just wait a minute, mister. Can't arrest us. Not both Slim and me.
Is that right?
What about my youngsters? I won't leave them here alone.
Can you get somebody to stay with them?
Well, I guess Josie will be home before too long.
Who's Josie?
Our oldest girl.
Where's she now?
Been to the movies with her boyfriend. She's full growed, almost 19.
How soon do you expect her back?
I don't know for sure. Pretty soon, hour maybe.
We can't wait that long. Looks like we'll have 6 kids in, too.
All right, Joe, I'll tell them downtown.
You gotta tell me what you're saying?
Yeah.
You just gonna sit there? You gonna let them drag our youngsters out of bed in the middle of the night?
There's another thing I can do, hon. I tried to tell them. You heard me try.
I'm not gonna have my kids in jail. Not for you, not for nobody.
It ain't right to get a man through his family, mister.
Yeah.
I told you before. Don't make no difference what becomes of me. You can send me away. You can put me in prison the rest of my life. You can give me the gas chamber.
Oh, you're all through now.
You see, hon, I tried.
Want to go ahead with the call, Frank?
Yeah.
Probably take 5 or 10 minutes to get the kids dressed, then we'll shove off.
All right.
I ain't gonna stand for it, Slim. I warned you. Those kids ain't going to jail on account of you.
Alice?
He asked me to hide it when we heard Jerry Boston coming up the block.
Well?
I put it inside my dress. All right, if I turn around?
Yeah.
I reckon it's just what you want.
You know better than this, Miss Benson.
What?
There's no H in here. This is just his layout.
It's what he gave
You're
me.
married to a guy who's been hooked for a long time. You got a pretty good idea what the stuff looks like? We're not going to waste any more time here. Either you give us the caps or you go downtown, all 4 of us.
I'll get them for you.
You just tell us where they are.
Don't listen to him, Alice, honey. Don't listen.
Bedroom.
Which one?
Where the kids are sleeping.
Go on.
Under the pillow. Under Elsie's pillow. That's where he put it.
See the youngest?
Yes, sir. I'd appreciate it if you'd try not to wake her. She did a lot of wandering around when she's lost. She's all tuckered out. I had to tell him, Slim. I had to.
It sure was a lousy trick, mister.
What's that?
Holding them youngsters over her head, making her fret about them just so you could break her down.
Mm-hmm.
Real lousy. You ain't got no kids you own, have you?
No.
Oh, that's how I had it figured. The way you talked, Alice. The way you kept on her. Parent wouldn't act that way.
Mm-hmm.
Never in a million years. Not a real parent, that is.
Well, there's just one thing that I don't understand here, Denson.
What's that?
How would you know? in the children's bedroom, Frank found an envelope which contained 32 caps of heroin. Denson admitted that the 8 belonged to him, but he refused to tell us where he'd acquired it. Jerry Boston denied any knowledge of the drugs. We made arrangements for the 2 Denson children to be placed under protective custody of the Juvenile Division. 10:42 p.m., we took the Densons and Jerry Boston down to the Narcotics Bureau for further questioning. Our investigation revealed that Boston was not implicated in the case, and he was released. 11:17 p.m. While Frank interrogated the Denson woman, I talked to her husband in an adjoining room.
Oh, I never saw the like. You sure are hard to satisfy, mister. I told you the stuff was mine. Now what more do you want?
It just doesn't add up, Denson.
Don't see why not.
Well, you called it back at your place.
What's mean?
Well, where would a hype like you get enough money to buy 32 caps?
Well, I had me a little extra put away. Price was right, so I made a buy.
Now, don't give me that. You're scratching just to keep even with your habits. I'll bet you hook. Now, we've seen the marks on your arms. You want me to guess? 3 caps a day. That about it? All right, Denson. Who's the stuff belong to? Look, fella, you're dead. We can make you on possession, maybe even on sale.
Sale? You must be off your rocker. You know I never sold none of them.
Story we got, you're already to start pushing. For all we know, you started.
Anybody told you that, he's a liar.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't no pusher, I never have been.
And what are you doing with 32 caps?
I keep it telling you, mister, they were cheap.
How cheap?
$5 a cap. Now, that's mighty reasonable for them these days.
$165 isn't reasonable. You never saw that much money. All right, who'd you buy them from?
Oh, wouldn't be nobody you know.
Well, why don't you try me?
I don't know myself.
Uh-huh.
Ain't from L.A.
Yeah.
I met him last week, took a trip down south across the border.
Oh, sure you did.
That's how come I made me such a good buy.
You bet. Now, you listen, Denson. We didn't drop in on you tonight just because we were in the neighborhood.
Is that so?
We wouldn't have been there if we didn't have information. You know that as well as I do.
Well?
Our info is that you just got those caps tonight.
But I tell you, somebody sure has been spreading a lot of wild stories about me.
They've been on the nose so far. Where are you spending your time these days?
I reckon we covered that before.
Well, I reckon we'll try it again.
I stayed at home mostly.
Were you home yesterday?
Sure was.
Day before?
Yeah, as far as I can remember.
A real homebody, aren't you?
Figure ought to stick pretty close, seeing as how the wife's working.
Well, that's sure considerate of you. When was the last time you were downtown?
Whereabouts down
Maine, Alameda, anywhere in there.
Afraid I just don't recall.
Last week, maybe?
Oh, no, it wouldn't have been last week. I wasn't feeling rightly. Didn't go no place last week.
Then how'd you get to Mexico?
Guess my memory ain't as good as it used to be. Reckon I'm kind of mixed up.
You sure are. Right in here, Frank. Sit right over there.
Now, honey, you take it easy. They can't do nothing to you.
She knew where the stuff was. That ties her right into possession.
Told you where to find it. What else do you want?
Who do the caps belong to, Mrs. Denson?
To Sims. They belong to him.
Where'd he get them?
I don't know. Honest, I don't.
Did you have any visitors tonight besides Jerry Boston? Well, come on.
I can't think of nobody. Slim, you've got to do something. You've got to get me out of here.
Ain't a single solitary thing I can do.
I want to know what's happened to my kids.
All right, take it easy, lady. They're in good hands.
I want to know. They ain't never been away from me, not since they was born. They'll be all upset if I'm not there. Can't you understand how I feel?
Yes, we can.
My fault anyway. It's all my fault.
No, hon, you oughtn't talk like that.
Well, it is. I should have left you, Slim. I should have left you 10 years ago when you first started taking dope. We wouldn't have had the other 2 kids. It'd just be Josie. Bad enough what's happened to her.
Yeah. If you start worrying about Josie.
It's high time somebody worried about her, ain't it? Going out with a married man. Wasn't for you and your dirty, filthy dope, you'd never have met him.
Alice, I'm telling you, shut up.
That's enough out of you, Denson.
Oh, sure. He can't do no wrong as far as you're concerned. God give you a free bindle. That makes him a fine fella, don't it? Fit company for your daughter.
Who are you talking about, Miss Denson?
Kirk Helvey. That's who. He's the one that gives Slim them caps. He's the one. Going out with Josie. First thing you know, she'll be on the stuff, too, just like a father.
That who she's with tonight?
Tonight. Last night. Every night. I talked to her till I was blue in the face. Just like a father, that's what she is, just like him.
You know where they went?
They said to the movies. No reason to believe them, though.
You could have given us all this, Denson.
Well, they weren't my caps. I was just keeping them for Perk. Till he brought Josie home tonight. Boy, he finds out what's happened. He's sure going to blow his stack.
Yeah.
Guess maybe I got to shooting off my mouth too much. About having them 32 caps. Made me feel like a big man. Never had that much stuff for my whole life. Told some of the other boys it was mine. It shows you how you can get in trouble from a little exaggerating.
Yeah.
Only had them caps a couple hours before you fellas showed up. Couple of hours. That's all it took. Look at this here mess I'm in.
No, it took you a little longer than that, Benson.
What do you mean?
10 years. From previous investigations, Frank and I knew that Perk Helvey was involved in the narcotics trade. He'd been arrested several times for possession, but so far he'd always managed to escape conviction. At the time of his last arrest, some 5 months ago, he had been in the company of his wife, Marjorie. When the wife was searched, 3 ounces of heroin were found on her person. Marjorie Helvey had not been known to us as a pusher or a user. But when her husband was questioned, he denied any knowledge of the dope. His wife was sentenced to a term at the Women's State Prison. 12:08 a.m. Frank and I drove back to the Denson residence. The place was deserted. We went inside to wait for Helvey and Josie Denson. 1:16 a.m.
Well, if he wouldn't cop out to save his own wife, he's not going to give us anything.
You know.
Well, it's sure some family.
Well,
Can't help feeling sorry for the kids, though.
me too.
Wait a minute. Somebody's out in front, Jim.
Yeah.
How do you want to work it?
Well, let's split them up. I'll talk to the girl. You take him in the other room, see what you can get.
All right.
You want to come in for a sec?
Yeah, that's something to remember.
Guess they're all in bed.
Sure hope the old man didn't shoot too many Mike Camps.
Police officer, you're under arrest. Don't try anything, Ellie.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on here? Where is everybody?
Folks are out.
What'd they do, get themselves pinned?
Let me see your purse.
Sure. Anything you want, help yourself.
Come on, move over here. Keep your hands out of your pockets and stand still.
Okay. It's a good thing I ain't ticklish, huh?
All right. Come on, Helvey.
Huh?
I want to talk to you out the back.
Yeah, sure.
What'd you guys do, draw straws for us? Well, don't look so sad about it, honey. You won.
I'm not so sure of that.
I got the smart one, huh?
Your mother and father have been arrested,
Oh?
and it's not going to go easy on them.
Who cares? The old man's a bum. Always has been. When I was a little girl, he was a lush. Now he's a hype. I don't notice any change.
What about your mother?
What about her?
She's been trying to hold the family together, hasn't she?
Might be better if it fell apart.
I'm going to give it straight to you, young lady. Your folks say that the caps we found belong to your friend Perk Helvey. Is that true?
I wouldn't know.
You'd know if you wanted to. It's going to be their word against his unless you step in.
Include me out.
Maybe you got a beef against your father.
Maybe.
Whatever you give me won't help him much. Might make a difference in your mother's case, though.
Oh, come on. You don't care any more about my folks than I do. You're after Perk.
It was his stuff, wasn't it?
I don't know.
You better think it over.
Why should I?
You don't mean anything to him.
Isn't what he tells me.
He's got a wife, hasn't he?
The way I hear it, she's out of town.
You know who sent her there? Nothing to keep the same thing from happening to you.
It won't.
You ever seen your mother cry, Josie? Well, I did tonight. She wasn't crying for herself either. It was for you and your kid sisters. You got a choice. Who's it going to be? Your mother or that two-bit pusher in there?
Not a very nice way to talk about a friend of mine, is it?
Is that your answer?
I had a big night. I'm kind of tired. You got nothing on me, so I think I'll just toddle off to bed.
You just stay put.
Joe.
Yeah. I'm not sure of you yet. Stay here.
You were through before you ever started.
She doesn't care about her mother or anybody else. It'd be easier to crack Helvey, I think.
No, it was, but he copped out. So the stuff is his. He's got some more in his car.
What turned the key?
I don't know. Maybe he likes this girl. Maybe that's why he held back on his wife to get rid of her.
When you guys get done comparing notes, I'd like to get a little shut-eye.
We're done.
Now you're playing it smart. No point in running into a stone wall, is there?
Your mind's made up, huh?
It's a general idea. You want to pin something on Perk, you better look someplace else.
We don't have to, and we don't need you either.
What?
Neither does your mother. For her sake, I'm glad she doesn't.
What are you trying to have?
I'm not handing you anything. Perk gave us what we asked for, more than enough.
I don't believe you. Why should he?
Well, you better ask him.
Don't make any sense. I would have backed him up, whatever he told you. He knows that.
Sure he does.
Crazy jerk. Probably thinks he's doing me a favor, helping out my folks. Some joke, huh?
Yeah. Who's it on?
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent. On
December 28th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Percy Foster Hilsey entered a plea of guilty and was sentenced for violation of the State Narcotics Act, a felony. Porter Slim Denson and Josephine Annabelle Denson were tried and convicted of violation of the State Narcotics Act, a felony. Violation of the State Narcotics Act, a felony, is punishable by imprisonment for a period of from 5 years to life. The two young Denson children were placed under 24-hour supervision in a foster home. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Frazier. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Virginia Gregg, Jack Crucian, Joyce McCluskey, Herb Ellis. Script by Frank Burt. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Watch an entirely different Dragnet case history each week on your local NBC television station. Please check your newspapers for the day and time. Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles. Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the homicide detail. You get a call telling you that the body of a man has been found in the motel room. There's no lead to his true identity. Your job? Check it out.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, July 19th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. I was on my way back from the main jail, and it was 5:27 p.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide.
Hi, how'd it go?
He's willing to make a statement. He copped to the whole thing.
Gonna save us some time?
Yeah. Could have saved a lot more if he'd gone with us last week, though.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Paperwork. Want to give me a hand?
Yeah.
Here.
Okay. How's the family?
Pretty good. Faye thinks he's got appendicitis. Faye thinks he has appendicitis. Woke me up at 2:30 this morning. Got a pain in her side. Sure it was appendicitis.
Yeah.
I told her to call a doctor. No, she didn't think it was that bad. Not to call a doctor. Just enough to keep me awake worrying about it. This morning the whole thing's gone, though. No trouble. Says it's probably heartburn.
Why don't you give her a couple of your Pepto pals?
Oh, Joe, that's very funny. Funny.
Homicide Friday. Yeah, that's right. What's that? What's that address? No, we'll be right out. No, not anything. Right. Goodbye.
Work?
Work. Made at a motel out on Sepulveda. Found a body in one of the cabins.
Yeah.
Thinks it's a suicide. Frank and I left the office and drove out to the address. It was a modern motel set back from the highway. There were 14 cabins surrounding a swimming pool on the lot. We met with the woman who'd placed the call and the owner of the place.
Right over there. Number 18. Anything been touched in the room?
No, sir. As soon as I saw him, I knew what had happened. I locked the door and called you.
What's his name?
Registered as Tom Rustad in Phoenix.
How long has he been here?
About 10 days. I'd have to check the card to be sure.
Is he alone?
Here, I got the key. Go ahead.
Thanks.
You
touch the body at all?
No, I should say not. I've worked around motels for a long time, yet and so nothing bothers me. Tell you, though, this almost did, like this scared me half to death.
Yes, ma'am. Better call the lab, ask them to come out.
Yeah. Be all right if I use the phone in the office?
Well, sure. You go right ahead. It's on the desk, back of the counter.
All right.
Thing like this, it isn't going to do the place any good. I hope it can be played down in the papers.
Yes, sir.
This is the first kind of trouble we've had. Suicide sure isn't going to help. I wish there was some way to change it.
Well, there is, but that wouldn't help much either.
What do you mean? He's dead, isn't he?
Yeah, but he had help. 6:03 p.m., the crew from the crime lab arrived and started their investigation. Apparently, the victim had been killed with a small caliber gun. However, a search of the room failed to turn it up. The coroner's office was notified. They came out to check the body and go through his effects. 6:18 p.m., Frank and I talked with the motel owner in his cabin.
Now, here's the registration card. You can see there where he signed it.
Were you driving a car, do you know?
Oh, I never saw one.
Well, how'd he get here?
You mean when he checked in?
Yeah.
By cab.
Did he tell you why he was in town?
No, he never mentioned it.
Did he work?
I don't know.
When he checked in, did he say how long he'd be staying?
No, he said it might be a week, 10 days.
How about visitors? Do you have any?
I didn't see him.
What about phone calls?
Yeah, I made some.
Do you have a record of them?
No. Usually we do. All the calls go through the board, but he used the phone booth outside.
Okay.
A couple times I was out by the pool at night, you know.
Yes.
I'd be out there and I'd see him in the booth. A couple of times he talked for quite a while.
But you haven't got any idea who he was calling?
No. Dime called though.
What's that?
Cost him a dime. I heard the bell ring when he dropped the money.
Well, they all do.
You got any mail?
No.
He paid for his room in advance?
Yeah, the first time he gave me the money for a week. And just a few days ago he paid for another week.
How'd he pay?
What do you mean?
Well, by check or cash?
Oh, cash.
What size bills do you remember?
I never saw him use anything smaller than a 50. Sure seemed to have a lot of them. Guess maybe $2,000.
Did he always carry that kind of money with him?
Well, I wouldn't know about that. I guess he must have kept something smaller, though. Isn't everybody can change a 50?
Not everybody.
You gonna let his people know?
What's that?
Well, he must have some people over in Phoenix. They should know about him being dead.
Yeah.
Sure don't feel it's my place to tell him.
No, sir, we'll take care of it.
Okay. It's gonna be a shock to him. A guy his age. Probably got a wife and family. Not gonna do him any good.
No, it works both ways, doesn't it? Didn't do much for him. In going over the place, the crime lab found the room had been ransacked. Although none of the possessions of the victim had been taken, there was no money in the room and no personal identification could be found. The place was gone over for fingerprints. Several clean thefts were listed, but they belonged to the dead man. No other usable physical evidence was recovered. The coroner's office checked through the victim's luggage. In one of the suitcases, they found an unstamped letter addressed to a June LaSalle in Reno, Nevada. Its contents explained that the victim expected to be in that city at the end of the month. There was no way of establishing a relationship between the two people. The coroner sealed the motel room, and Frank and I returned to the office. We sent a radiogram to the authorities in Phoenix asking for all information on Tom Rustad. The following morning, Wednesday, June 20th, we got their answer.
Here it is, Joe.
Phoenix?
Yeah, take a look.
Yeah, boy. It's going to make it rougher.
Yeah.
I never heard of him. In the hope of getting an identification of the victim, his fingerprint classification and description was sent to George Brereton up at CII Sacramento, FBI headquarters in Washington, and to the police departments in the 7 western states. A close check of his clothing revealed that Tom Rustad's suits were tailor-made and had been made in Reno. We contacted the authorities there and asked them to check on the tailor shops in the area. We also asked if they check out the woman Rustad had written to. While we waited for the answer, we contacted the cab company that had serviced the area around the motel. We asked them to go over their way bills and report all trips from the motel and all trips to the address. 2 hours later, we got the list and started to check out the drivers.
Sure, I remember the guy. A couple more like him, I could buy my own cab company.
What do you mean?
Well, he's a big tipper. Never had anything less than a half a sawbuck. Down at the stand, got to be a real battle. Who's going to pick him up? You know, the loop?
Yeah. Where'd you usually take him?
Well, different places, restaurants, shows, different places.
Did he ever tell you what he was doing in town?
Well, we'd talk. You know, a long drive downtown gets kind of dull. A couple of times he rode in the front seat with me. Guess maybe the company wouldn't like it, but that's the way he wanted it.
What'd you talk about?
Weather, fishing, lots of things.
Yeah?
Mostly about girls, though. He thought he was quite a ladies' man. The way he dressed, all that money he should have been.
You ever see any of his friends?
Listen, how come you're asking all these questions?
It's police matter.
I knew that when I got the word from the front office. They told me to ride with you all the way. Well, what's the beef? You after Roosted or something?
Investigation.
Oh.
Now what about his friends?
Well, I sure wouldn't want him to find out, blow the whole deal. Probably wouldn't call me anymore.
What's that?
Marcia.
Who?
I don't know her last name. Some bimbo Roosted knew.
You ever meet her?
Not Swamp.
What's that mean?
Why, she was in the cab. You know, I'd pick them up here, drive over to her place, and take the two of them down to a restaurant. So, real beautiful. Tall, blonde, gorgeous.
Roosted was pretty friendly with her, was he?
Yeah, I guess so. The way he talked, he liked her a lot.
You got her address?
Yeah, I suppose.
Huh?
Well, you guys rouse this can lead right back to me. Cause a lot of trouble. Tell you, he's a funny guy. Talk about a lot of things. He don't like to have you ask questions, especially about him.
Yeah.
Got real touchy when I talk about where he was from, what he did for a living.
Yeah.
That's why it's important you don't get in any trouble with him. I can use those tips.
Well, don't count on them anymore.
Huh?
They won't be coming. We got the address of the woman the driver knew as Marcia. We called the office to check on the wires we'd sent. There's been no answer to any of them. 1:30 p.m., we drove over to see the woman. The place was a new apartment building on Wilshire Boulevard. On the mailbox, we found the name Marcia Lovequist and the information that she occupied apartment 14. We went up and rang the bell.
Well, it doesn't look like she's home.
Yeah. Let's check with the manager.
All right. Sure pretty cool, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah.
You know, you ought to get a place down here. It'd be great for you.
It would, huh?
Sure. Nice apartment, pool, get some sun.
Yeah, I got a lot of time for that.
Well, once in a while. It wouldn't cost so much. Be nice. Me and Faith come over and see you and bring the kids.
You bet.
Well, you wouldn't want to be a hog about the pool, would you?
Not me, Frank.
You feel that way, just forget the whole thing.
That's what I was planning.
You just forget.
Here's the manager.
Can I help you?
Wonder if you could tell us where you can find Miss Lovequist.
Marcia?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, saw her a few minutes ago. Oh, yes, there she is over by the pool. See, with the straw hat.
Oh, yeah. Thanks very much.
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Miss Lovequist?
Yes?
The police officer'd like to ask you a few questions.
Policeman? I don't know what I could tell you, but go ahead.
Sorry if we sit down?
Sure. Pull up a couple of stools.
Very good.
Thank you. I'll go.
Thank you. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
How do you do?
That's fine.
Now, what do you want to see me about?
You know a man named Roosted?
Yeah, why?
What can you tell us about him?
In trouble?
No, we're just checking.
Oh. Well, what do you want to know?
You know where he's from?
You mean his hometown?
That's right.
Someplace up north. I don't think he ever said.
How'd you happen to meet him?
Cocktail party, hotel downtown. There was a convention. My agent got me a job as a hostess. I'm a model. Do some work in TV. And get a little luck to take what you can get.
Yeah.
And Tom was there, and we got to talking. Went out to dinner. Quite a bit after that.
Did he tell you what he did for a living?
No, I don't think so. Salesman, I think. Talked like one.
What about this convention? You know what it was for?
Oh, dentist. But he didn't have anything to do with that. He was just there.
Oh?
Told me he was sitting at the bar, and one of the guys asked him to come up and have a couple of drinks. That's all. He wasn't a dentist, though.
I see. Do you have any friends here in town, would you know?
Yeah, I don't. Listen, why don't you ask him? He'd go along with you. Nice guy. He'd be able to answer these questions a lot better than me.
Well, we're checking everybody who knew him.
Oh, I see. Well, nice guy. Had a lot of fun.
When did you see him last, miss?
Stayed for yesterday. We had dinner, took a drive. He came by for a nightcap, and then he called a cab and went home.
Did you hear from him yesterday?
No. Didn't really expect to.
Why?
Well, you see, we had kind of a fight. Nothing serious. I didn't figure I'd hear from him till maybe today, you know. We both got over the mad.
Can you tell us what the argument was about?
Well, the same to you, I'd rather not.
It was pretty important that we know.
Well, I guess it can't do any harm. He was just getting too serious, that's all.
Yes?
Too serious. Told him I had to go out of town on a modeling job. Santa Barbara would be gone a couple of days. He got real mad. Said he didn't want me running around like that anymore. Real possessive. I told him he didn't have any right to tell me what to do, that we weren't married, you know?
Yeah.
Well, from there it got loud. Him telling me I wasn't going to Santa Barbara and me saying he couldn't stop me. He finally called the cab and went home.
What time was that?
I guess about 3:30. Might have been 4, no later.
All right, thank you very much. If you should think of anything else, we'd appreciate a call.
Sure.
I'll leave you one of our cards.
That's either one of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I'll tell you who you ought to talk to.
Who's that?
Well, you ought to see him anyway. I haven't heard anything, but Tom might have gone over there.
Who?
This photographer I was going to Santa Barbara with. Tom might have gone over to see him.
Can you give us his address?
Yeah, I've got it upstairs.
Did Roostad know this photographer?
Well, they'd never met. He knew about him, though.
Yeah.
That's why he might be able to tell you something.
No?
Well, Tom thought there was something between us, this other fella and me. Of course, I told him it was silly. It didn't make any difference, though. Real jealous, possessive. Said him and the other fellow were going to tangle someday. I hope not.
What?
I know the other guy.
Yeah.
He'd kill Tom.
We got the name and address of the photographer, and then we drove back to the city hall. We made a check through R&I, but we found no record on him. 3:06 p.m. Well, looks like we might have a lead. Yeah, I hope it turns out, don't you? Mm-hmm. Homicide Friday. Yeah. Yeah, Jack. No, we've been waiting for it. Can you give it to me over the phone? We'll pick up a copy later. Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm. What? How do you spell that? Rossfelle. Yeah. All right. As soon as it comes in. Yeah, we'd appreciate a call on it. Right. Okay. Jack Ricketts down in communications.
Yeah?
Got a teletype from Reno.
About Roostad?
Yeah, they got a record on him. Real name Thomas Roselle.
That's the name on the letter.
Yeah, they ran it down.
Well, they got him.
Been arrested for bunco, grand theft, money, forgery. Haven't been able to make any of them stick.
Mm-hmm.
From what they say, a couple of months ago he went into a new line. They figure that's what he's pitching now.
What's that?
Narcotics.
What about this Roselle woman? She your sister?
No, his wife.
Huh?
Married, got 3 kids.
Her up there and this Marshall woman here, and he's playing a real line.
Yeah.
They come up with anything more?
Possible motive, maybe.
Yeah.
When Roselle left town, they got a rumble he was coming down here on business.
Uh-huh.
Had 12 ounces of heroin to peddle. We put in a call to Narcotics Division and talked to Captain Walter. He told us they didn't have anything on Roselle, but they'd heard about a new supply of high-grade heroin being moved into town. We told him what we'd found, and then we drove out to talk to the photographer the victim's girlfriend had mentioned.
Well, I'm sorry, fellas. I haven't got any idea what you're talking about.
Have you seen Tom Roostad or Roselle?
Sure, I didn't say I hadn't. But I didn't have anything to do with killing him.
How'd you know he was dead?
It's all over the afternoon papers. Don't you boys read your own publicity?
When did you see him?
Roostad?
Yeah.
Night before last.
Monday?
Yeah, I guess so. Really, Tuesday morning.
What time?
Well, about 4:15. Yeah, that's it. 4:15, I remember, because he woke me up. I looked at the clock.
What do you want?
Oh, he had some wild idea there was something going between me and Marcia.
Was there?
Well, I don't see if there's any of your business, but it doesn't matter to me, so I'll tell you. No, there wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
He's a model. I'm a photographer. She worked for me. I paid her $25 an hour. That's all it was.
Yeah.
I ain't going to tell you it wouldn't have been nice, but it just didn't happen. I don't believe in romance around the office. Doesn't do anything but cause trouble.
Yeah.
What happened when Roostad came in?
Oh, made a lot of accusations. I told him they weren't true. Said he had a filthy mind. Told him to get out.
Did he go?
No, I tried a little muscle. I belted him a couple of times, and that ended it.
Mm-hmm.
Poured him a drink to show him there weren't any hard feelings, and a couple more.
Yeah.
Kicked it around a while, and then he left.
What did you talk about?
Look, am I a suspect? Is that way on my back?
We're talking to everybody who knew him.
Well, you can cross my name off the list. I belted him, that's all. I didn't shoot him.
All right. Did he call a cab from here when he left?
No, I was going to, and he decided to walk.
Did you see him leave?
Certainly. I locked the door after him.
No.
Watched him walk outside from the window there. Must have changed his mind about the cab, though.
What?
Cab. Must have changed his mind.
I thought you said he didn't take one.
I said he didn't call one. A cruiser picked him up. They drove off.
You didn't get the number of the cab, did you?
Look, a guy woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Came in here, wanted to start a beef. I finally got rid of him. I'm a 9 to 6 boy. I haven't got time to stand around windows and get cab numbers for you cops. I went back to sleep.
All right, and after anything comes up, give us a call, will you?
Yeah, sure.
Take this card, will you?
Oh, look, I'm sorry if I sounded off. Just that I don't want to get mixed up in it. You can understand that, can't you?
Sure.
No hard feelings, eh?
No.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't like Roostad. I didn't like him an inch, but I didn't hate him. Not enough to kill him.
Somebody did. We cab company again and asked them to check the way bills from Nestler's address. They came up with one trip on Tuesday morning. The dispatcher gave us the driver's name and told us where we could find him.
Yeah, I remember the guy. Looked like he had a beef with somebody, real cut up.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you take him?
I think, was a hotel downtown.
Remember the name?
I dropped him off at the corner of Margot. He went into a hotel there. See now. The Rolling Arms, I think it was. Yeah, that's the place.
All right, thanks a lot.
I'm glad to help out. Say, this fella, he the same one who was killed yesterday?
That's right.
Well, I sure seen a lot of him. Newspapers, television, a lot of him. Always works that way, don't it?
What do you mean?
After you're dead, you're famous.
Mm-hmm.
When it's too late to enjoy it.
Frank and I drove down to the Roland Arms Hotel. We talked with a clerk who had been on duty Tuesday morning. He remembered a man answering the victim's description and told us he'd inquired about a guest named Wallace Alney. Because of Rustad's insistence, the clerk had put through a call to Alney, and the guest said to let the victim come upstairs. He went on to say that about 30 minutes later, both men had left the hotel together. 9:40 p.m., we went up to Wallace Alney's room.
Here it is, George.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah? Wallace Alney?
That's right.
Police officers, like to talk to you.
Sure, Smart.
This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Hi.
That's all right.
Like a drink? I'm just going to fix myself one.
No, thanks.
Always like a drink before dinner. Sharpens up the old appetite.
Yeah. Mind if we look around?
No, go ahead. Is this for anything special? Am I be able to help?
No, it's all right.
Architect's closet? Well, maybe you better tell me what this is all about, huh?
You know a man named Tom Rustad, or Roselle?
Why?
Do you know him?
Yeah, I met him.
I'm playing Joe. I don't know about the closet.
Now, what about Rustad?
When did you see him last?
I don't know, a few days ago.
Want to pin it down for us?
Monday. Yeah, Monday.
That's the last time you saw him.
Yeah, we had a couple of drinks in the bar at the corner. I haven't seen him since.
We got two people who say you did.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then go talk to them. Leave me alone.
You ever been arrested?
Why?
Have you?
Yeah.
What beef?
I don't think I'm going to answer that.
You don't have to. We'll find out.
Narco?
Where you from?
All around.
Famous city.
Frisco, Vegas, Casey, all around.
How about Reno?
Yeah, I've been too.
That where you met Rustad?
Look, what do you guys after?
You got the answer to that. Why not save some time?
I got a lot of time.
So have we.
Well, let's be honest with each other, huh?
Go ahead.
Why don't you guys lay out what you got, and I'll tell you how close you are.
That'd be kind of silly, wouldn't it?
Why?
Like playing checkers with yourself.
Nothing I can do then.
How about the closet?
Look, you make a pinch, I got no choice. If you're wrong, I'll own City Hall.
I don't think we are.
And be my guest.
All right, you're under arrest.
Charge?
Suspicion of murder. I'll check the closet.
Save you the trouble. I killed him.
The search of the closet turned up a driver's license and other identification for Thomas Roselle. We also found a .25 caliber gun, $2,700 in cash, and a quantity of heroin. The suspect was taken to City Hall for questioning. We ran his name through R&I and found that he had several arrests in the state of California for violation of the State Narcotics Act. 12:16 a.m. We got the full story.
We were in business up north.
Reno?
Yeah, we made a lucky buy. He came down here to sell it. I gave him some connections where he could dump it.
Go ahead.
He was down here a couple of days. He sent a wire telling me the merchandise wasn't moving. I knew it was a lie. Right away I knew it. Good stuff like that, there had to be a market. And I got the word.
What do you mean?
Well, a friend of mine, he called, told me about Tom and this Marcia doll, how they were running around.
Yeah.
This guy told me Tom was going great with the H, said he dropped about $7,000 of it already. Sure, as soon as I heard that, I got on my horse, made it down here.
What happened?
Couldn't find out where he was staying, didn't have a trace.
What about the motel?
Well, I didn't know about that. As far as I knew, he was supposed to be here. That's the way we arranged it.
Yeah.
I sent out word I wanted to see him for him to get in touch right away. He did. Tried to give me the same line about how he couldn't sell. There wasn't a market for it. I told him we'd better call the whole deal off. Just give me the stuff back, we call the whole deal off.
Yeah.
Took some talk, and then we headed for his place.
That's the motel?
Yeah.
How'd you get there?
My car.
What happened then?
Oh, when I saw how much he had left, I told him he was lying. I called him a dirty thief, and we had a fight. I shot him.
All right, you willing to give us a statement?
Sure, why not?
I'll get tonight.
His wife know you?
I guess so.
That's too bad. I know her. She's a real nice kid.
She's really in love with that Tom. Guess she took it pretty hard.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, knowing her, she would. Nice kid like that, and he's running around with another broad. Boy, he was a real bum. The way she loved him and doing a thing like that to her.
Why don't you take another look?
What?
What'd you do to her?
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent. On November 19th, trial was held in Department 99, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Wallace Hamilton Olney was tried and convicted of murder in the second degree and received sentence as prescribed by law. Murder in the second degree is punishable by imprisonment for a period of from 5 years to life in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Frazier. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Dick Perrin, Helen Cleve, Lillian Bios, Stacey Harris. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking. Watch an entirely different Dragnet case history each week on your local NBC television station. Please check your newspapers for the day and time. Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.